Vroom, vroom, mother effers. We're back for an all-new Shorts and Hoodies show. Woo, 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 woo. Coming to you from our respective office spaces in parts known and unknown. This is the Shorts and Hoodies crew. I am Stephanie, known to some as the first lady of the S&H crew. And to my upper side on this side, we have Jared. Hi, Jared. How you doing?
Hi, first lady.
Dun, 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 dun. And then to my other side, the man who is fleet of foot with the twinkle toes, Mr. Dash. Dash, how are you doing?
Pageant wave, everybody. How y'all doing tonight?
Elbow, wrist.
Wonderful. I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Got that Cobra Kai trailer this morning.
Heck
Super
yeah, that looked really fun. Yeah, I have not watched that show, but I was tempted to catch up by watching that trailer. So
really
nice
good writing.
job on the reaction.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Well, so here's a quick breakdown of how the show's going to go. So typically we talk about a few little subjects here to go over in the geek world of movies and all that sort of fun stuff. And then after we do that, we're going to get to our top 10 fastest movies, which vroom, they're going to be racing past you and all of that sort of stuff. So today we got a little bit of breakdown. There's a lot of news we want to go through. So first, I just want to quickly talk about this week. We had a few trailers come out. We had Across the Spiderverse, part 1, that trailer dropped. We also had the Matrix Resurrections trailer that dropped, which we all had some great reactions to. Well, you know, I had a fun little time reacting to that old thing,
hitting that 1K today.
Ooh,
oh my God, seriously?
Yeah.
You know, for a fledgling little channel like ours, that is a big thing.
It really is.
That's so dope.
I want to thank you, people that are watching this, and all of our new subscribers. It looks like last time I looked, we're up to 33. So we got some fun new subscribers like Cyber Ghana and Shadow Breed. If I said your name right, I hope I said that correctly. And I hope people that subscribe going forward, if you want to make sure that we can see your handle, we want to give you a shout out during the show to thank you for being here and being our friends. We love you.
Comment. We don't always get to see who our new subscribers are. It doesn't always pop up right away. So when you subscribe, make sure you comment subscribed.
Let us know that you are with us. All right. So we talked about those other trailers. So Across the Spiderverse, Matrix Resurrections, Cobra Kai trailers, all super fun trailers. Adding some Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2099. That's super fun. The Matrix made everybody cry. Yada, yada, yada. Awesome stuff. The other item that came out, that's going to come out tonight, and Jared, I know you were just talking before we started the show here about how you're watching some of the Game Awards, and so is Dash. We have a Sonic the Hedgehog poster and a trailer that's going to come out sometime tonight, which is really exciting. So you guys have both watched the first Sonic movie. I have not. I'm a loser. Anything in particular you're excited to see in this Sonic trailer that might be coming out tonight?
Jim Carrey.
Well, yeah. I think he'll be in it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think just from the posters, I mean, you have the wasps that are pretty game accurate, other than them being blue and stuff. But from Eggman's the ball that he flies around in and everything, and it just looks cool. And then I'm excited to see Knuckles is going to be in this one as well, voiced by Idris Elba.
Oh my gosh, sexiest Knuckles ever.
Yeah, he's not in the poster. I don't even know if he's going to be in the trailer, because I mean at this point the trailer have already been out. Make sure you look on our channel if we reacted to it.
Yes, that's right.
But
Magic of time travel.
The rumor, and then it was confirmed that Idris Elba will be playing Knuckles in this movie.
Also fun, the original voice of Tails, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, is going to be coming back to voice Tails. That's kind of fun. I always like when they have the original people. Yeah, they'll actually sound like the right character, which is pretty cool. The other thing that's coming out, will have come out already by the time you see this, is the Halo trailer, which a lot of people are super excited for that trailer. I know you guys have probably both played Halo. I have never played Halo. I've watched people play Halo. So
the reason I became an Xbox player.
Is it Halo?
I love my PlayStation.
Oh, don't piss off Sony.
I'm an Xbox person though, so
Yeah,
Okay.
but Sony's been stupid for the last couple of years. They've been pushing back on a lot of things. Xbox and PC have really been trying to integrate with each other. I mean, it doesn't help that Microsoft is PC,
Yep.
but like Nintendo Switch is actually being nice about integrating, and PlayStation's just kind of giving a lot of the gamers the middle finger. So
Well,
But at
gaming
the same time,
politics.
PlayStation gave us Spider-Man, so I'm happy about that.
PlayStation
Yeah.
gave us God of War.
Not the Avengers one.
Oh,
Regular Spider-Man.
I heard that game's not awesome. The Avengers game.
It's
A
not.
cash grab for costumes, something
Yeah.
like that is how it was
Very
described.
A game I'm very glad I slept on.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after getting screwed over with 76. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's like they added Spider-Man into the I was checking it here, but they like added Spider-Man into the Avengers game, and they're like, yeah, it was pretty much just like a sorry for being so bad. Like it's a lot like Cyberpunk and what Dash was talking about with 76, where they're just trying to make up because it was another one of those releases that was just garbage. But I feel like a lot of things these days are either really hit or miss because like COVID messed it up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it was either a massive success or it's just like, yeah, we dropped the ball.
yeah.
Am I kind of on
the
point
game?
with that?
They'd find that
yeah.
with beta testing.
So fun fact with beta testing, they've had the beta ready and available for quite a few months. And like the beta is a version of the game that they had prepared well in advance. So a lot of the last minute updates really aren't even there. Like with the Battlefield beta, that was already that was all said and done for like months beforehand. This isn't something that they're pushing out last minute too. Otherwise, that would be a gong show too.
Yeah. Developing things is difficult, but getting back to that, the Halo trailer. I mean, somebody who's like me, who's not a big Halo player, I mean, I'm excited to see what that trailer is going to show. I'm excited to have seen what that trailer will show me and to get me excited for watching a series because it all looks really cool. Master Chief looks really cool. The mythology around Halo looks really cool. It seems like a great idea. I'm glad they're doing a series instead of a movie because too many times people try to do a movie of these big game characters. And gaming's like a book, right? It's a big, long form art that you have to spend a lot of hours with. You can't do that in 2 hours.
Well, I mean, especially with games like Halo, I mean, with all the cutscenes, there's so many that have, people have put those cutscenes together. And I mean, that in itself is a big, long movie. And that was one of the questions that when Halo came out and went through each of the sequels and stuff, that I was sitting here going, why have they made a Halo movie? It's because essentially we've already gotten Halo movies with the cutscenes. Exactly. That the writing is so amazing. The voice work is on par that you don't really need to do a movie. And so I agree with you. I'm glad that we're doing a series, and it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see when it's going to take place. Is this going to be like an origin of Master Chief? Is this Private Chief? Is this Sergeant Chief? Is he working his way up or whatever? Is he going to take the helmet off?
Ooh.
And I hope he does not.
Okay. Do we know who is playing Master Chief? Oh yeah, Mandalorian.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that much about it because it's all kind of come up pretty quick. Like, hey, here's a Halo series coming up.
Boom.
And then it's like, hey, we're going to get a trailer. So much stuff has been going on with getting ready for Spider-Man. So
that's true. Spider-Mouse. Well, it's kind of good though. You don't want to know too much until the series is actually going to happen because there's been so many series and movies, whatever, that have been announced and then they get canceled. Everyone gets excited that they're greenlit, then they die in development. So yeah, talk to me when you actually have the program ready to go and give me a trailer. Don't get me excited before that.
Yeah,
seems like a good idea.
Speaking of things getting canceled, did you hear Cowboy Bebop got canceled already?
Oh my God. I heard some of the awful reviews of it. And it makes me really sad. That show is so
too,
good.
I'm a big John Chu fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I hope this does good. And I'm not a big Cowboy Bebop fan at all. I'm not even a fan, not even a good fan. I just never watched it. I just recently kind of got into anime or whatever. But like the trailer, again, an outsider here to the show, an outsider really to the genre of anime. To me, it looked like a cult kind of Tarantino kind of feel to it. I was like, this is gonna be badass. And then my brother, who's he's a fan and everything, he's like, oh, this looks bad. and then hearing all the people say, "Oh, it looks horrible," and I'm just like,
Really?
I thought it looked good. I'm wrong. Okay, I'll just shut up. And then like I got on the computer like an hour ago. Boom, second season's been canceled.
That's too bad.
No.
I think one of those shows, from what I read, that it was trying to be too slavish to the source material, like too much, the same story that was already in the original show. And the original show was so perfect. So why would you do that? You have to kind of walk that fine line of changing a little bit, but not too much for the fans. That's a fine line, because the Wheel of Time is doing that for me. I read the books, but the series has changed certain things. So it's like made me a little interested, but the things they've changed, I'm questioning why they've changed it. It's a hard line to walk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, well, there's that. But speaking of more series, so did you guys hear that HBO Max has announced that they're going to be doing a Penguin spin-off series? So the Matt Reeves Batman movie that's coming out next year, they're going to be taking Colin Farrell's Penguin role, and they're going to be making a spin-off series of that character on HBO Max that ties into the Batman universe. Not sure if it's before or after the Batman movie, but we're going to get more of that Penguin character. Does that excite you guys at all, that Colin Farrell in heavy makeup in the Batman world that we saw in the trailer, that's going to be lengthened out on HBO Max?
Yeah,
Shrug.
Yes, I don't really know.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like the backstory of Oswald Cobblepot. I do. Whether you're talking like Tim Burton or whether you're talking TV shows like Gotham, each way that they've done it, I like it. It's a dark, past with his parents abandoning him and everything. I don't like all the makeup, but at the same time, I mean, I know we're supposed to go into it open-minded and look at it as this is not Colin Farrell wearing makeup. This is the Penguin. So yeah, I'm interested in it. It'd be interesting to see if this is gonna come after the movie or before the movie.
Yeah, it says something about his rise in the underworld. So I don't know if in the Batman movie he is just kind of starting out in the underworld, and then this series is going to pick that up and kind of progress with it. Or
trailer kind of comes off like he's been in it.
He's already there, right? Yeah.
Rough. So I mean,
out of curiosity, how do you guys feel about that when they do a movie and it's like, oh, these established people, and then like, oh, let's jump back in time and tell the story.
Prequel.
How do you feel? Yeah, like how do you feel about doing prequels with movies and stuff?
I think it was done well. If it's done well, I don't mind it at all. I mean, case in point, The Kingsman. The third one is a prequel to how it all started. Then again, we're going to get a fourth one that finishes everything up. I'm okay with it. If it's just a cash grab. And some movies can come out and you're just like, why did you put this out? Like,
yeah,
we know why you did. And that stuff like that just irritates me.
Well, because HBO is doing it again with like the Peacemaker series, which you guys both have reactions to on our channel here. The Peacemaker trailer, it's kind of the same thing. It's feeding into the Suicide Squad and the DC. They're branching off into another series. HBO is kind of copying what Disney Plus is doing, right? The Hawkeye series is out right now, which ties into the Avengers movies. HBO is having this Penguin that ties into the Batman world. They're having Peacemaker that ties into the Suicide Squad and maybe the rest of the DC universe. So
I'll say this.
So,
and I didn't even think about that too. And I think the reason why I didn't think about it because the Suicide Squad was so good.
So good.
And John Cena for a wrestler. And I want to preface it by saying that because I mean he is I think now he's an exception. John Cena before was the rule of he can't act because he can't. But the character that he portrayed in the Suicide Squad, he was perfect.
Perfect for him.
He held his own with the other ones.
Even with Idris Elba,
Yeah. And so I think this is a cash grab.
Okay. But a good one?
Good. Yeah. But it looks good. I think they found that they had something that they could just keep using the same characters to make some money off of. but it's gonna work because
Sure.
it worked the first time. I don't know. I
And
think
because it's
the cast
James
works
Gunn,
good,
right?
and it's James Gunn. You're not happy?
No, I
Not
did
looking forward
not.
to it.
It struck me. You were right with the cash grab move,
Mhm.
but like I've kind of followed John Cena like from when he was kind of the wrestler and started becoming a little bit more
Mhm.
polarizing, and I'm just like, no, bro, that just doesn't. It just like I get Suicide Squad being just so out there and outlandish, like that polka dot dude. He came
Mhm.
from left freaking field, didn't
So
know much
good.
about him, and then he's just spoiler fucking alert. He's the star of the show,
He's
It's
so good.
but like it just I'm like Cena's just I know Cena from other things, and I'm just like, bro, you're the king. You can't see me, guy. Like that's
Yeah.
how I know you. You're a trash actor. You're just so yeah.
But the kind of is playing on that personality with this Peacemaker character, right? Because he's kind of that cheesiness, that super over serious, but also ridiculous at the same time, kind of fits in that universe. So maybe I'm kind of with you. John Cena was probably my least favorite thing. Not that he wasn't great, but of all the awesome things in Suicide Squad, he probably was the lesser of all of those things for me. And the Polka Dot Man definitely was the star of the show, like you said. So we're gonna have more of him.
It was Ratcatcher 2 for me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point. Yep.
And I wanted to like her more, but I don't know. It kind of felt like I didn't get as much like story or as much lines as I wanted
Mm-hmm.
versus Idris
They weren't
Elba
fleshing
or
out the characters.
Cena
Yeah.
or Polka Dot Man, which just by the way is just an incredible actor. So
Correct.
That guy's got some range.
he loves DC.
David
loves
Dastmalchian,
DC.
also awesome in Dune. If you've seen that one, he's great. For the tiny little role that he has as Peter, he's great in Dune. He's a great actor.
Oh, I did have a question about great actors and great series.
Mm,
Dash, how's it coming, bud?
great actors and great series, and you go to Dash.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, let's do a Lord of the Rings check-in. Everybody who doesn't know, Dash's favorite movie of all time is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's a joke. He hates that.
As he takes a sip of vodka to calm his nerves.
How did Fellowship of the Ring go, Dash?
Definitely, please don't hate me.
I won't hate you. Maybe.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
That's not true.
It is the worst
It's
movie.
your least favorite movie you've ever
It's
seen.
the worst. And I call
Ugh.
Howard the Duck.
That movie's fine.
If it makes you feel any better, Dash, for work, I had to watch Jingle Jangle 2. I
That
didn't know
sounds awful.
I didn't know it was a musical either. And so I sat through Jingle Jangle 2 for work to be able to rate it.
I have no idea what this is. It sounds awful.
It's a Netflix Christmas musical that was made as a sequel to
horrible.
last year. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to let you try to compare Dash's hatred of the Lord of the Rings to some Netflix bullshit Christmas movie.
I'm not. But I'm just saying.
I will not stand for it.
I'm just saying.
That? Jingle Jangle.
I don't know. Probably some weird Netflix executive that had a boomer. But I'm just saying, Dash, I had to sit through some trash as well too to rate it for work because I refuse to miss a movie for work.
Well, I'm sad.
No,
I'm sad you don't like it.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't think of another movie that I dislike more than this. And I sat through Kiss of the Dragon, and that was one of the biggest, steamiest piles of shit that I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I watched Boiler Room with Ben Affleck and Giovanni Ribisi.
I heard that was fine.
Crap movie, but it's
really
what's a guilty pleasure movie for me. So if we do guilty pleasures, trust me, Boiler Room will be on there. Not because it's good, just because I don't know what it is about the movie.
Just something
you
like.
can't not watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I'm gonna do a review of it, so I'm gonna hold because we texted.
I know.
We texted, and I went off on a rant. I stopped the movie halfway through, walked over to my mom's apartment, she just lives literally across the street from me, just to rant about
wow.
how much you didn't like it.
I was like, I have to look at something else. Like my cat's asleep on the heating blanket. I had the Christmas tree lights on. The lights were turned out. I was like, I'm getting festive as fuck. I'm gonna get comfortable. What the fuck am I watching? And yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
Was that the text rant that you were sending me when you were like, "Hey, I'm about to watch it"? Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny because I'm sitting there playing Red Dead Redemption and I just hear bing. I'm like, "Ooh, Dash is about to watch it," and I just hear my phone buzz all the way through, and I'm like, "I'm being a cowboy, guys." Like,
that was me.
That was awesome.
Going off.
I'm really sad, but did you probably never? I mean, people that like the Lord of the Rings books, maybe I'm a little bit predisposed to have liked that movie because, I mean, there probably are things in the movie that I don't even think about not being there or not being clear to someone that hasn't read the books or kind of know the story. But I mean,
we've talked about, I'm not that I'm not a reader, but I found a way to get to the book faster, and that's just to hit play. I'm through it in 5 hours almost. But I will say this. Was it a total lost movie for me? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
Cinematically beautiful. It ain't Avatar though to me. To me, like Avatar, Titanic, okay, anything that James Cameron does, is just
Avatar's story is like Dances with Wolves.
Cinematically, just like how beautiful it is. Like you can just take it all in. I'm not talking about the words and stuff.
Sure, fair.
We won't talk about the Eagle Uber or the taxi and all that stuff.
I know.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. We won't talk about how horrible Elijah Wood is as an actor.
Oh, it's so not.
So do you guys remember back when WWE was WWF?
Yes.
And they had that because when Dash had mentioned the boiler room thing, I was like, I could only think of Mankind and who was it? Mankind and the Undertaker had the boiler room match, and there was just a slobber knocker. I'm sorry, I really want to watch that again. Yeah, JR there.
Good old JR.
Wow, old school WWF. I was more WCW.
Like I said, I get it. I get why people like it. I'm not a Middle Earth person. I think that's well established.
I thought you were going to do a review on it. Save it for the review.
I know. Trust me, I can go for about 30 minutes. I have to work myself up again, but I can get going.
You know what? I
definitely one of those Peter Griffin. You know what grinds my gears? I
tried to pull it away, guys. I tried to pull it away.
I can feel it boiling. So I'm going to simmer down
just
now.
Say, I cannot wait to hear your take about the Ents in Two Towers because
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know if I can do that to myself.
All
Gosh,
right.
I've already watched Chicago for you. Come on, man.
Did you know?
Yeah. I was wrong.
Good stuff.
I was wrong. I'm gonna come right and say I was fucking wrong. I did not know musicals could be that good.
And that's why I think that's why we picked those musicals that were more mainstream.
Yeah.
I was not. I was not wrong.
For you.
I will
say not wrong for yourself.
People. I will say this: if
thine own self be true.
If I can get myself to watch the Dos Towers and Return of the King, the Kang, I ain't watching that extended version. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Nah, I'll let you go from that. You can watch just the regs. Because you're not even going to appreciate the extended editions at this point. Because they're really there for book people.
I watched the extended version.
I feel bad. Yeah. I'm very should have given you theatrical.
I did that for y'all.
I'll buy you some Liquid Death, Dash. Don't worry.
Anyways, move it on.
All right. Well, I was going to talk real quick. Just one more news item here that we heard this week that the Shang-Chi movie is getting a sequel that was greenlit. And the director looks like he's going to do another show on Disney Plus, possibly a spinoff of Shang-Chi, possibly Xialing, his sister, and the Underworld. Sounds pretty cool.
Can we get an Aquafina movie or
maybe an Aquafina show? That would be fun.
Who?
His sidekick.
Oh, I thought she would just tag along with him throughout the entire series, like she did last time. She was kind of cool.
She's very funny.
I like
good driver.
Yeah.
As a segue, she's a very good driver of fast cars. I called out the segue. I screwed it. I ruined
Vroom,
it for
vroom.
myself. Vroom, vroom, mother effers. So, like we said, this week we are talking about, we're going to get to our draft now. So, enough of the news stuff. We are going to get to our draft, which is the 10 fastest movies. So, gentlemen, this was my prompt to give you about the fastest movies. How did you do with making your list? Did you have fun doing it? Silence.
I was like, going through the process of picking the movies. I kind of picked more of the scenes in the movies where there were fast parts. Because I
That's
mean,
fine.
because I was like, there's not many movies that I know of that like are either they're kind of slow and then they kind of go slow again. You
Mhm.
know,
I don't know. I had a blast making this, and it was a lot. I think it was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
yeah.
Going into this, because honestly, I could make a whole list out of just Fast and Furious movies. And
I was really hoping you did that though.
I did not.
Challenge
I-
yourself.
Yeah, I did. I mean, because easily I could just go, I could easily rank them. But no, I pulled out some good racing films, some good not so racing films, but that had to do with great cars and stuff in it. Looking back on my list, I am extremely proud of my list. Dare I say, of the top 10 lists that I have made so far on this show, this one I think I am proud of more than anything.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I
Well-
procrastinated like always.
Well, that's all right. Procrastination is the mother of invention. Actually, not how that phrase goes.
Okay.
Nope. It is in my household. Procrastination is the mother of, oh shit, figure it out. All right.
I had a question for you, Dash. Forgot what it was.
Oh,
Cool.
Forgot.
I can't answer that one then.
That's
Mm.
fine. We'll figure it
unanswerable.
out.
Well, you know what? Maybe as we go through this list, you'll think of it, Jared. So how about we just turn it over to you? Because you're going to start us off for this fastest episode. Start out with you.
Before
Oh,
we get
sorry.
going, yeah, no, because you have missed a great opportunity.
Have
Because
I?
You are hosting the show today. You have
Oh.
two gentlemen above you ready to start with their top tens. You have missed a great opportunity to say
Have I?
one of the most famous lines ever in racing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what I do? I feel the need for speed.
Not the one I was thinking of.
Gentlemen,
Oh.
start your engines.
Oh,
There
gentlemen,
you
start
go.
your engines.
Come
Oh,
on.
I'm such an idiot. God dang it.
No, you're
Some-
not.
Someday I'm going to be smart. Well, first, speaking of that, so we talk about Gentleman Start Your Engines. The reason I did pick this, so I'm going to go back to this. Thank you for reminding me before we get to this list. The reason I picked the 10 fastest movies is because this past weekend and now this upcoming weekend is the end of the Formula One season. And I am a Formula One super fan. I am Team Verstappen versus Team Hamilton for all those out there.
Well,
Lewis
how is it
Hamilton's
pronounced?
great. Max Verstappen is the lead driver of the Red Bull racing team, and Lewis Hamilton is the lead driver of the Mercedes AMG team. And this past weekend, we had an amazing race in Saudi Arabia. The track was insane. If you want to go back and see all the crashes that happened, the track had literally no sides whatsoever. Everything was wall, and it's the fastest track on the whole circuit thus far. Several crashes, 5 cars DNF'd. And at the end of the race, a race that was about 6 or 8 points between Verstappen and Hamilton is now dead nuts tied. So now with this race coming up this weekend, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, winner take the championship. It's super exciting for any of you Formula One fans, or if you're not a Formula One fan, highly recommend. Just catch the race. See, it's like a real movie where the winner takes all. The winner, they're driving for pinks, or however that phrase is in Fast and Furious. It all comes down to this weekend, and I'm so excited about it.
What happens if they both DNF?
If they both DNF, Max Verstappen would win because he has more race wins this year. So he's won more races than Lewis Hamilton has. So that's
How
kind of
are
how
they-
the tiebreaker works.
How are they dead nuts if he's got more race? Oh, he probably only did a few races and won a lot of. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
That's what I love about Formula One. It combines all of my favorite things: fast cars, chaos, and science. So you have people strapped into basically a go-kart with a jet engine behind it that goes 200 miles an hour, and crazy stuff happens. So yeah, one racer will DNF or do not finish, is what DNF means. They won't finish a race, they'll crash out, or their car won't work. You have a constructors series, so all the teams, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, all these big names, and Ferraris in there. Of course, that's where, Ford v Ferrari. That's, if anyone's watched that movie, it's kind of Ferrari racing is the same team. And then you have the drivers' championships, which is what Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are doing. So they're competing for the individual championship. And then their teams are also working for the constructors' championship, who built the best car over the series. So kind of fun. There's qualifying on Friday. We'll see where people, qualifying on Saturday, see where people finish for the race. And then Sunday, we'll see where it ends. It's very exciting.
You watched Top Gear at all?
I love Top Gear. I love that show.
You see that episode where they were trying to drive the F1 supercars?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are dudes that drive cars for a living.
They're hard.
They were having issues with the supercar.
It's hard. It's very hard to do. Yeah.
It's and then who was it? Clarkson had to go down to the kitty F1 car or whatever, and he could still barely do that.
Correct.
God, that was so dope.
Well, there's no power steering. There's none of all these cheater things that regular cars have. Those cars just don't have them. It's really a driver. It's an athlete strapped to a jet engine on a go-kart. That's Formula One for you. It's really fun.
I know you were totally disinterested in that, Dash. I'm sorry.
Dash is the only person who lives in North Carolina that doesn't like racing.
It's not that I don't like racing. I like people going fast. One of my favorite things to do when I'm not working on this podcast or editing this podcast or dancing or working all the million jobs that I have is literally just watching car crash videos on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Those are pretty dope.
I'm writing that down on my psychiatrist notepad.
Well, I'm just saying, I think as an Uber driver, because that's what I do as well. It keeps, I'm a very defensive driver. I make sure I'm watching everywhere. And I find that I become a better driver when I watch those videos, because it's almost like time slows down and I can go, this is gonna happen in slow motion, and I make
bullet time
quicker. Yeah,
nice.
I like.
Have either of you been in crashes?
Car crash?
Yeah, like a rollover.
Not a rollover. I have been in car accidents though.
I did some Humvee training where we did rollovers, and I think the guy rolled me 10 times after I had spaghetti for lunch.
Oh,
would not recommend it.
Oh, I bet that sounds messy.
No, I was good. I did not let it happen. No, I refused to. But he's like, you want to go again? I was like, no, you can go fuck yourself, Sergeant. He's like, fair enough. So yeah, because we went to lunch. We were the last team to go, and he's like, oh, you team whatever. And we're like, yeah, let's go. And he's like, go to lunch. I was like, you're a dick.
Wow.
And then he's like, all right, we're gonna do 11 rollovers. I was like, what? And then we started rolling over. The whole time you're screaming, roll over, and it's just it was glorious.
That's the thing that scares me watching those videos. When they do roll, I'm like, oh, that scares me. The crashing parts, the head-to-head stuff, that's some scary shit.
Oh, that's just dead nuts stuff.
A lot of it is I'll watch it and I'll go, me trying to predict who's gonna fuck up in the video. And then a lot of the times it's just me just going, idiot.
Yeah, usually it's somebody making a really dumb decision.
Oh, very, very. Just not paying attention. And all it takes is a split second for something to happen and not pay attention. It amazes me what I just see. Just as Ubering, how many people text on their phone or are on their phone. Just irritates the mess out of me. And this is somebody who used to do it all the time and then had an accident. And then it was just it wasn't even because I was on my phone though, but seeing people on their phone and I'm just like, you're gonna just stop.
I was behind a truck last night and he was texting and he was doing 35 and a 65. And I thank God that your horns can go as long as you can hold them.
Yeah.
But hey, you want to talk about slow motion and you want to talk about watching car crashes and seeing idiots? That leads me into my number 10 pick.
Look at that segue.
Zootopia.
Oh, really? Zootopia. That's an interesting choice.
Flash Slothmore. The final scene where he's just wow. I just think that's so dope. Yeah, because he's like, hey, buddy, and then just that final that final end scene, it's just him in like a Corvette, and it's just like, yeah, no, that's dope. So that's my number 10 is Zootopia for Flash Slothmore.
Playing against type. That's awesome. It's a good choice.
Yeah, and that's actually his name because I had to Google that, Flash Sophomore.
It's a great name. That's a primo driver's name. That's a Max Verstappen level driver's name.
It's a dick
so
name.
If I'm doing this correctly, Dash.
Yes, I'm hitting the number 2 spot. My number 10 pick is, without argument, the greatest driving scene in cinematic history.
This better be what I think it is.
The green Shelby Mustang, Steve McQueen, Bullet is my number 10 pick. Without
awesome
argument, it is the number 1 driving scene.
Oof.
Like, took movie driving to a whole nother level, or is, for my mom, a whole never level of driving in movies.
Oh yeah.
After that movie, after Bullet came out, and I'm sorry, there was nobody at that time cooler than Steve McQueen.
No.
My number 10 pick, it's Bullet.
Oh man, what a gorgeous car too. Oh.
Yes.
Steve
Probably
McQueen.
not the last time you will see a Shelby Mustang on this list.
I'm gonna guess probably not.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's a great choice.
What is your 10 pick?
All right. So quick preface of my list, right? So my list, I picked my movies and then I ordered them using science. And here's what I mean. This is the fastest movies list. So I ordered my movies in the order of how fast the vehicles in my movie can go.
Okay.
Sounds like fun, right?
Yeah.
So my number 10 pick is about something that goes a certain speed. In fact, it has to remain above a certain speed so that it does not blow up. This is 1994's Speed. Man, I mean, come on. It is kind of a race. It's a bomber movie. You got Dennis Hopper trying to bomb things. You got Keanu Reeves and all his reeviness, beautifulness. You got Sandra Bullock bursting onto the scene, and you got them driving a bus, and you got to stay above 50 miles per hour, which is not super fast, but for a bus, that's pretty darn fast. And they have to stay above in order, or they're going to blow up. I mean, it's super exciting that when they finally get, they have to do it on the train too. So then the train, they got to accelerate and go all the way through the barrier and jump out over the road. All sorts of fun, crashy, destructo porn sort of a stuff. And another great entry, last week we talked about one of his movies, Twister, another great entry by director Jan de Bont with Speed. This was what he did before Twister.
Not only from Twister as well, Alan Ruck.
That's right. Alan Ruck is in this movie. Very good. Absolutely. And Joe Morton, who was the developer of the Terminators in the Terminator franchise, not developing Terminators in this franchise. So it's a nice change for him.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my number 10, Speed.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
think about that movie. Yeah.
That was totally one of the first movies.
Especially we're talking about fastest movies. It's literally
called Speed. Exactly. Well, okay. There was my number 10. Jared, go that way. We're going back to you. What's your number 9?
You know, I Googled fastest car movies because I wanted to cheat. And like every list had Bullet on it. And I was like, that's all right. That's cool.
Great scene. The rest of the movie is okay. But that
one scene
through San Francisco, just,
they don't do car chases like they did in the late 60s and early 70s.
Great movie.
I mean, now they have James Bond. They have like a dude who is literally inside the seat. When like Bond was playing with that little phone. I'm touching everything. So when he's like controlling his Aston Martin with his phone, there's just some dude in the seat driving it on a TV. Like, how cool is that? So
pretty cool.
But anyways, sorry. My number 9 pick is actually called Death Race. I mean, it's a C- movie. It's Jason Statham in prison with prisoners building death cars to race for people's entertainment. It is what it is. It's like an Expendables movie. You know what you're getting now. So I was just
love movies like
Death
that.
Race. Yeah. So I was just like, Death Race sounds good. I remember it as a kid, like watching it. Well, not like as a kid, but I remember when I was younger watching
2008,
it. 2008, right? Like, huh?
It's 2008, right?
Yeah,
When that came out?
2008, I think. But I just think I just thought it was hilarious because it's just like, what better for a top 10 list about speed than just prisoners running around in hodgepodge vehicles trying to kill each other. Like, okay, that's I just love it because you know what you're getting out of it. So
Pulpy B schlock. Love it.
I don't know who that is.
Pulpy. No, the term is it's kind of pulpy. It's kind of B movie schlock. It's not a director. Pulpy B schlock. Yeah, there we go. That's my director.
Be my new stage name.
There you go.
I don't speak Minnesotan.
Pulpy.
So.
Well, neither do I. Oh wait, yes I do.
Oh no.
Oh no, you don't. Okay, there.
All right, Dash, send it on home, bud.
Well, my number 9 is.
Oh, thank you there.
Yes, my number 9 is a movie version of a TV show that stars the people who are in the movie, but also with great cameos from the Broken Lizard gang. This is Johnny Knoxville. This is Sean William Scott. This is Jessica Simpson. Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Such a fun movie. Willie Nelson as Uncle Jesse.
Love
cool.
it.
Whatever. I am a huge Broken Lizard fan. The guys who did Super Troopers.
Absolutely.
Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Club Dread, but yeah, Super Troopers and Beer Fest. Those are just 2 great movies. And then all the cameos of them in the movie. But my favorite part of this movie, and the reason why it makes the list for me, is the credits. They show how many General Lees that they destroyed.
Oh, that breaks my heart when I see beautiful cars destroyed.
Especially there's the one scene when they're driving through the roundabout and everything, and they go up the ramp onto the highway. They destroyed so many General Lees during that. And it's like I said, it's just a really fun movie. Johnny Knoxville's an actor. It's whatever. I mean, he's not that great. He's not that bad either. I love The Ringer, and he was in Walking Tall. I love Sean William Scott though, and Jessica Simpson. Yeah, okay. She was
Jessica Simpson in those short shorts.
Yes.
Stop playing on that.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 9 pick, Dukes of Hazzard. Stephanie, take us to your number 9.
Alrighty, so my number 9. So we're going. This is my first entry of the cheat. Hey, 1 second. I gotta let this. You gonna lay there? You gonna lay there? Okay, thank you, Missy. My little cat is in the shot here with me. But I'm putting together a franchise of movies. So this is a series that started in the 80s and then recently had another iteration that was quite well loved by a lot of people. But the top vehicle is a Ford Falcon XB GT Coupe, known as the V8 Interceptor. Top speed is only 118 miles an hour, but it's constantly being driven through the wastelands of Australia. This is the Mad Max franchise. I mean, how could you not have a Mad Max entry on the fastest? It's all about cars and car violence against each other. Think about the horror of the original Mad Max and then going to the beautiful orchestration that is Mad Max Fury Road and the progression of the Mad Max franchise. But always there has been these cool, custom built, made from scratch, weird Etsy vehicles, right? Self-made vehicles, this conglomeration of weird car parts put together into these weird vehicles. And then you have awesome, cool car chase scenes. I mean, it's Mad Max. What else I got to say about it?
There's a gentleman who did a theory on Mad Max's car from, what was it? From the original one with
Mad Max.
Yeah, the original Mad Max. Mm-hmm. And apparently they kind of followed it all the way through to where Tom Hardy's Mad Max might actually have the OG, but because it had gone through so much, it was, yeah. Like, I just think that's insane. Like, how much people pay attention to details in movies that are that amazing. You know what I mean? So
people love cars, man, because cars are cool. And yeah, it really is supposed to be the original V8 Interceptor that he stole. He stole after the Toe Cutter gang took out his family. He steals the car from the remaining police in the wastelands, and then heads off into the waste at the end. Oh man, such a great car, the Interceptor. So that's my number 9, the Mad Max franchise as a whole. So we are going to number 8. Jared, what is your number 8?
Well, fun fact, I drove a Ford Mustang at 120 miles an hour once. That was fun.
Oh my God, what?
I mean, yeah, what? So anyways, the number 8 movie that I decided to choose from was Crank.
Nice.
With another Jason Statham in there.
So
I mean, the whole movie is,
right?
Huh?
I was like, you're gonna say you got a little thing for Statham, huh?
I found myself with Statham on this list here. Yeah, but I mean, just the whole movie is it's so obnoxious and over the top. It's about as high. How high on adrenaline can you get? Like, that's just the movie. It's
and a great car chase scene where his girlfriend has to keep his heart rate up.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Not to be sick. Hey, you count on me for the sick references, but
okay,
that's definitely the first time I've ever seen that movie.
I'm sorry, it's not sick when you're talking about Amy Smart. I love me some Amy Smart.
She is very cute.
Yeah,
she's very cute. Oh, by the way, Dash, if Jessica Simpson is not in those Daisy Dukes, if she's not in that thumbnail, I don't care what movie you're gonna use for my thumbnail. Put Jessica Simpson in that thumbnail. You want to talk about I'm not even a Jessica Simpson fan, and that
hot.
Yeah, it's like Megan's hot. 3 Stallions. It's just
I don't know.
All right, let's walk on. Somebody else talk, please.
All right. I'm number 8. Yes.
Yeah, you're on your number 8. Yep.
All right. My number 8 is a movie that is very out there, cartoonishly out there. Being able to take what was at one time a cartoon and turn it into just it's so colorful, and anything short of what they did with the Matrix. This is the Wachowskis, Emil Hirsch. This is Christina Ricci. This is Speed Racer.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Love it.
Just an incredible, and I know there's very mixed reviews on this movie, and people may comment that they hated this movie, because I know a lot of people who did. I loved this movie. Speed Racer was such a vital part of my cartoons growing up. It was such a fun, just a fun show. It was from the chimp sidekick to the parents, and just everything about it. I wanted to be Speed, and definitely. I mean the Mach 5 to in the movie the Mach 6 and everything. Just the way the lights hit it, and it's just an incredible masterpiece of a movie.
I agree.
So that's my number 8, Speed Racer.
Awesome pick.
I like that in the video game. You could, I think it was like you hit R1, and your car would jump because it would just throw the bongy things out from the bottom. Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope. I had fun playing that game.
Great.
I mean, right. John Goodman and Susan Sarandon as his parents.
There you go.
I mean, what a cast. Such a huge cast. I think people weren't ready for that movie. It's so ahead of its time, the way that it cuts in, like it's all these different scenes at the same time, the way that it looks, so ahead of its time.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty.
Right, Stephanie, what is your number 8?
So my number 8. So I did a little research to figure out how fast they were going in this movie in order to order it properly. So the prior movie, said the Interceptor was going about a top speed of 118 or so, but really only about 60 to 70 in the sand. Well, this one, I know that the cars were going about 80 to even 100 miles an hour. And we had, talk about badass ladies in film, the most badass stunt woman in the business today, Miss Zoe Bell. We're going with 2007's Death Proof.
I was gonna say,
man, what a crazy movie. I mean, it's Tarantino, so I mean, how can you go wrong there?
Rodriguez.
Well, Rodriguez, I mean, technically Rodriguez did Death Planet,
yeah,
and then Tarantino did Death Proof, or sorry, Terror Planet was Rodriguez, and then Tarantino did Death Proof. But I mean, I've been in love with Zoe Bell since there's a documentary. She was Lucy Lawless's stunt double in Xena, the Warrior Princess, back in the day. There's a great documentary called Double Take where I fell in love with her, which talks about her, Zoe Bell, because she was the stunt double for the bride in the Kill Bill movies. That's where how she met Tarantino. It's a double feature of her versus the gal who was the stunt double for Wonder Woman, the show back in the day. So I've been in love with Zoe Bell for many, many years. And then seeing her in Death Proof, she's actually doing all those stunts. The cars are going super freaking fast. She got really hurt on a couple of takes in this movie. So she's putting her life on the line for our entertainment, which I always appreciate with actors. That's why you're going to see some Tom Cruise movies on this list. But just Kurt Russell in that cool ass car. You know, the scene at the beginning where he takes out Rose McGowan is so horrific. He's such a good bad guy. I love Death Proof. So that's my choice. Death Proof.
Very good.
I had no idea who she was. Now that I've Googled her, I got you like that. She's pretty dope.
She's a badass.
She is badass.
Yeah, man.
Is she
good.
married to Tarantino?
No, I don't think so.
They're cuddling pretty close in a couple of photos. I was just kind of curious.
Well, I don't think any woman wants to marry Tarantino, but they'll cuddle up to him to get in a movie. Sorry, ladies.
Cuddle up
Feminism.
To him.
Yeah.
I'd cuddle up to him.
He's very cuddly.
Don't touch my feet.
Oh, feet. That you say that. If anybody has seen the honest trailers of every Tarantino movie where there's this huge long montage of all the feet shots in all the Tarantino movies, it's hilarious.
He's got a thing.
Yep.
He likes his feet, man. He likes what he likes. So we're going to you, Jared, for your number 7. What you got?
I mean, the movie kind of starts off a little slow, and it's like it's hokey and it's pokey. And then all of a sudden there's a race through a construction site, and it's muddy and it's nasty, and it's in an old school Jeep, and it's not that intense, but it's kind of cool. The Taken scene when he's running through the French construction site where he finds his daughter's friend with her jacket, and then he beats up a whole bunch of people, which is dope. And then he just kind of like chases the guy through, and then I think it's kind of cool. At the end, the police are chasing him, and he flips him off, and he loses his tail. So I think it's kind of That's like it's like I don't like I know you're expecting like some big massive thing from me, and it's just like a lot of these scenes for me are just like the cool little scenes where there's just like it's just a little quickness, and it's just like that was cool. I'm sorry, I just
cool car chase scene. Don't apologize, man.
It's just your list.
I know it's my list, but like you guys are having like my family watches this apparently, and I didn't know that. Hi
Jared's
everybody.
family.
so like I showed up for the Thanksgiving dinner with my dad, right? And my dad's like, "Oh, I saw your podcast with all the other guys," and I was like, "What podcast are we talking about, Dad? I've got 2." It's like, "Oh, the list one." I was like, "Oh, you guys saw that? Oh, okay. Thank you, I guess." And they were kind of talking about it, and I'm just like, "You guys are having these big stories about it," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I thought the chase scene in Taken was pretty cool. Like, it wasn't spectacular, but like I thought it held together the story." And like that's
So you're talking about the first Taken, right? The very first one?
the first Taken.
Just like a 3 or something, right?
The other two don't exist.
They blend together for me.
The other 2 don't exist. I don't know what movies. There's only one Taken. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, fair enough. But that is a great car chase scene. So I don't mind you. Hey, don't worry about it. You don't need to have a freaking dissertation. This will be a 4-hour podcast if we all do that.
Oh, speaking of dissertations, Dash.
Oh.
Did you get how many honorable mentions do you have, bud?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, see, I knew that. I told you. See, we should implement Dash gets like 2 maximum.
Well, look, okay, so in my defense, I start off with a long list of honorable mentions. As they get mentioned throughout the show by your 2 picks, I cross those off and I don't mention them. As of right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 honorable mentions.
That's horrible.
But I'm usually pretty quick. You know, I'll rattle them out.
We'll
hey, these are some great movies. Boom, boom,
We'll
boom.
go fast.
But then I have 1 honorable mention.
I just think it's absolutely adorable, Dash. I think it's so cool.
Trying to keep this out of the screen. I don't know how some of these people are with like trying to zoom in and see my list. Don't you want me looking at my list?
I mean, you can read on my. If someone can figure out what that little blue triangle is right there, props to them.
Sounds like it's some Illuminati shit.
No, it's not some Illuminati shit. It's just it's a
I
sticker that I put
wanna
on my
say
fridge.
the fact that how quickly you did that, like boom, perfect. Like this is me, like trying to point at stuff. You were just like, chugabong.
It's a talent. Well, you remember how we were talking the other day about like how often I shave my dome, like every 2 or 3 days?
Right.
I have a thing, so just a mirror. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
The mirror. I throw the thing up here, and then I do the thing, and the other
I do
thing,
the thing and the thing with the other thing.
And then a child comes out, and that's how that happens.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
Dash, you're up, bud. Please take over.
My number 7 features
Love you too,
is
Stephanie.
a comedic movie. This movie contains Isla Fisher. This movie has Danny McBride as well as Bill Hader. But the true stars of this movie is Andy Samberg and The Lonely Island. This movie is Hot Rod. Yeah. It's my number 7 pick. The greatest stuntman to ever live. Just a great, great movie. Jared, have you never seen Hot Rod?
I've seen Hot Rod so many times. Okay. Like, I love it. I am so mad I forgot to put this on my list. Like, I am upsetty freaking spaghetti. I think,
and I have to say this. It's a great movie. Who's the dad? Was the dad Ian McShane? Also in Death Race. Played the coach.
Yeah, he was the old man. He was the old guy. Yeah, I love that dude.
I have 2 favorite parts of this movie. One is Chris Parnell's tattoos. His tattoos on his chest are just great. The guy who had sex before, and then he's peeing on the AM radio. It's just like it's a double stream. But the best part of that movie is when they break out into song and then start rioting.
Oh my God.
I love it so much. It is not necessarily the fastest movie, but we're talking. It's just a great movie, and he's a stunt man.
I mean, what mile per hour is laughter?
I know, right?
That movie is about 1,000 miles per hour when it comes to laughter.
Such a great, great movie.
I love the fight scene at the end. Where he pulls off the double punch or whatever. No.
Oh yeah,
the double punch, and then he makes his dad poop himself.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's been so long since I thought. Is that I was at everyone? What is he talking about? Oh, and then it hit me. Yeah.
I have to ask? Do you just like? Because I get secondhand cringe and embarrassment so hard with some people to where like I'm on Reddit sometimes and the people are like, hey, watch this really cringy movie, this scene. And I'm just like, I can't watch it. It bothers me so much. And Hot Rod does that a little bit for me throughout the scenes where it just gets like, you're like, oh my, like really?
I think so I do every once in a while, but for that movie, if I do, it's Danny McBride when he delivers his lines. Like, hi, I just found these fireworks. Would you like to go shoot them off? Like the way he delivers it, it's so like, I know that's the character he's playing. He doesn't talk like that, but it's just so funny. Or like Danny McBride when he's dancing, and they're playing 2 of Hearts, and just the way they're dancing is just hilarious. That whole movie is Cool Beans. That section. Oh.
Man.
Cool.
You're making me want to watch this movie again.
Yeah. That's my number 7. Hot to the Rod.
Hot to the Rod.
Stephanie, what's your 7?
Alrighty, so we're staying in kind of a schlocky-ish. I mean, I wouldn't call Hot Rod schlocky, but it certainly is funny. A movie that is, I think, maybe unintentionally funny, but for this, my list going in order of speed, it stars a classic car, a Dodge M4S Turbo Interceptor with a top speed of 195 miles per hour technically, but the actual speed of this vehicle is unknown because it's possessed by Charlie Sheen. This is 1986's The Wraith. Have you guys ever seen this movie, The Wraith?
No.
No, what?
Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, I went totally Minnesotan there.
Ah.
So the premise of this movie is that Charlie Sheen gets killed in a way, which I'll let you watch the movie to find out how, but his spirit comes back and inhabits this Dodge Interceptor, kind of like a very macabre, what's the show with David Hasselhoff? I'm blanking.
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. So like a very macabre Knight Rider. He possesses this wraith and he goes on a revenge binge against those that killed him, to save his girl. There's a girl, of course. There's always a girl in these movies. But so there's a few incredible car chase scenes. They're legitimately very good. The movie itself, I mean, it's pretty schlocky and pretty B movie, but there's a couple of explosions that are so ridiculous. They're hilarious. But there's these car chase scenes with the Wraith vehicle. I mean, it can go basically the speed of spirit. So who knows how fast that is? It's not bound by corporeal limitations. But this movie is it's so bad it's good territory. So I please recommend that people watch The Wraith. It's kind of a cult classic, but it's pristine Charlie Sheen. And really, I think the reason that the Wraith is able to go so fast is because, like Charlie Sheen, it runs on tiger blood. So you guys have never seen it, so you'll have to check it out sometime. So that's my number 7. All right, Jared, we are into the number 6s. What is your number 6?
I just can't get over it. It's inhabited by Charlie Sheen.
It's inhabited by Charlie Sheen. Yep.
Okay. Pressing forward here. I think it was the Kingsman 2. Is the opening car chase scene in the Mini Cooper. I'm pretty sure the bad guys had miniguns on the top of their trucks, and the Mini Cooper effectively gets just totally blown to bits, and it's just absolutely shredded. And it's a Mini Cooper in London getting blown up. Like, that's kind of cool to me.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I do like the scene where he had to escape into a pond, I guess is what it is, and he has to hold his breath. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie, and I've held my breath every single time because I'm like, and I see if I can hold it for as long as he can, and I do it every single time because I'm awesome like that. You know, I'm just talented. I don't breathe through my nose or nothing like that. I don't cheat. You know, you got to plug it there. But yeah, I think it's kind of dope. I think it's a dope little movie.
Cool
I just think it's cool how they're just like, how London can we get with this scene? It's like, yeah, let's go ahead and have a Mini Cooper. Oh, let's just put what was in the back. Like, it was all decked out too, and it had like the whiskey and stuff and rum and like all the fanciness in the back. I thought that was pretty dope. So
awesome.
Kingsman Dose. Dash. What are we dashing into?
I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it.
You changing your list?
Yeah, I changed one.
No, go back. You said you wouldn't.
You just can't help it. That's all right. You're a self-editor.
Yeah, I did, because I forgot about this, and Stephanie reminded me of this, of not because of a pick that you had, but of something I thought you were going to say for your number 10 pick. And this movie, this trilogy, is my favorite franchise.
Ooh, okay.
So I don't think I can have a list without it on here. So I'm taking out my number 6, which originally was Death Race.
Okay, so that's got chosen. Yep.
Yes. I am replacing my Death Race, and to say what I'm going to replace it with is just blasphemous. The Death Race, and not saying that these two movies are equal by any means, because they're not. I am replacing Death Race with Back to the Future.
Ooh,
which should have been on my list to begin with, because
that's a good.
I'm bummed I didn't do it either.
That's positive.
When you said that, you said something along the lines of it had to go at a certain speed. I thought you were going to say 88 miles per hour, and I was like, you know what?
I wish I had done that now.
So I keep looking over here and keep looking, and I'm sitting here going, why is it not on my list? And then you said Death Race, and I was like, I'm pulling that one out. Back to the Future, more than anything, Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
I've already lived in the past. That's where I just came from, literally. To be able to see myself as older, or if I were to have kids, or to see what the future holds. Are we going to have flying cars? Stuff like that. It was just a cool concept, especially, dealing with the 80s. We thought, sky's the limit, that, by 2015, we're going to have flying cars and freeways and stuff like that. And we're still on the ground. Yeah, it was such a great movie. Zemeckis and Spielberg. I'm a big Michael J. Fox fan. Christopher Lloyd. It's a perfect movie. It's the perfect franchise to me. Number 6, Back to the Future franchise.
Also a movie that contains Elijah Wood. Did you know that?
Wait, yeah. Elijah Wood's in that?
He's in the first one.
Is it the first one? No, I thought he was in the 80s one. Cafe. Second,
yeah.
With the colander on his head or something like that in the 80s cafe.
You have to use hands. That's like a baby's toy.
Exactly.
He's playing Gunslinger, the video game. Yeah.
I don't remember that level of detail. I bow to you, sir.
I love that movie so much. It's perfect. All right, cool. Number 6, Stephanie, what you got?
Alrighty. So this is the first of a few on my list starring the great Tom Cruise. But this is the earliest of the movies starring Tom Cruise. This is Tom Cruise as one of the greatest character names ever, Cole Trickle. Ridiculous name. The movie where he fell in love with his once and no longer wife, Nicole Kidman, Robert Duvall as his great mentor. This is not about Formula One, but it is about NASCAR. This is 1990s Days of Thunder. I mean, bad freaking ass movie. I watched this when I was a kid, and it probably was the gestation of why I like fast cars in the first place, is because I watched this movie. And I mean, Tom Cruise, just whatever. And the reason it goes here on this list is because NASCARs they don't go as fast as Formula One. The top speed of a NASCAR is about, top speed's 200 miles an hour, whereas Formula One can be up to like 250, and even faster than that. Indy cars are about 230. So that's why it got down here on the list for any of you racing fans that get mad at me. But I mean, one of the greatest lines ever is like, no, he didn't slam you. He didn't bump you. He didn't nudge you. He rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.
It is racing.
It's a great line. And of course, music by Hans Zimmer. So, I mean, can't go wrong there.
The man, the myth, the legend.
You find out you can pass on the outside. Yep. So there's my number 6. You guys watch Days of Thunder? You like this movie?
No.
I'm from Charlotte. I'm from Charlotte. Yeah.
You have, of course, you've watched this movie.
Yeah.
You've never seen this movie, Jared?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I didn't even know it existed until 30 seconds ago.
And that mellow yellow, that bright green, vibrant mellow yellow green.
Very pretty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, can you pass on the right?
Well, you can, but it's dangerous. That's the whole purpose, or the whole premise in the movie, that you shouldn't pass on the outside because it's difficult to do. It takes up more fuel, all those sorts of things. It's less aerodynamic. They try to, like, all the NASCARs try to draft behind each other in an oval track, trying to draft off each other. And so if you go on the outside, you lose that draft, so it's harder. Racing.
Science, I'm done. My brain already
science.
Hurts. I'm done.
That's why I like racing. It's science at 200 miles an hour. Woo! All right. So there's my number 6. We are going to you. We're starting the back half. Number 5, Jared.
The back half, yeah. Hey.
The back half,
So I picked this one just because I thought it was fun. The Transporter series. Jason Statham is a transporter.
There's a theme.
Really?
What do you mean? There's a theme?
There's a Statham theme. What you mean, bruv?
Well, no. There's okay. Oh. So he's in 3 of my top 10. That's not a theme.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have a Tom Cruise theme in my list, so fair enough.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Well, no, I just love it because, like, the first one, like, his job as a transporter, like, don't open the trunk, and then he opens the trunk, and then the second one, he like, it's just like, dude, you're a transporter. Just don't look at whatever you're transporting. Don't. That's the golden rule. How are you still a transporter after 3 movies with 3 giant fuck ups? Like, come on, man. You're really bad at your job, but people still hire you.
There's nobody else.
I will, yeah, but still, I don't know. I like that the whole movie is about him transporting it somewhere, and it's always him trying to get from A to B as quickly as humanly possible. And I'm just like, dude, you suck at your job. like, like he's got to be the most anti thug ever. You know, you're not helping your job, bud. So.
But it makes for exciting movies. Does it? I mean, kind of.
When he kicks through that door, I'm sorry. I do agree. I have a thing for Statham as well.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
It's just like I don't know. Like to me, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, how are you that bad at your job that you have 3 movies made about you? You know, like, did you guys? Oh, never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Ooh, a teaser for later.
Teaser. Dash followed up with something better than my horrible pick for number 5 there.
Well, I will say this to begin with. You have given us 6 movies. I have seen 5 of them.
Hey, you're doing way better.
Yeah, that's so new.
I haven't seen Zootopia. But I'm big fans of all the movies that you've laid out for me. My number 5 pick, I'm going Statham as well. But not in a starring role, but probably my favorite role. This is Statham as Handsome Rob. Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, the Italian Job.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We talked Mini Coopers before. In my opinion, I don't care if you're talking Michael Caine or if you're talking Mark Wahlberg. I mean, it's the movie that made the Mini Cooper it is. And the bringing it back into the spotlight with this movie. Ed Norton as the bad guy was just great. Donald Sutherland, Seth Green, Mos Def. Just a great freaking movie. Made me want a Mini Cooper so bad just so I could go pull a heist. So good. I
thought you were going to say so you could drive through train stations.
Yes, train stations. When they hit that, there's the one scene and they go over the ramp or whatever and they come down and she hits it like and then it comes down. I've seen that movie so many times, but when she like glides it on the nose and then it drops down, like I know it's gonna happen. I know she's gonna drop it down, but for some reason in the back of my head, it goes, she's gonna flip this bitch.
Can that actually happen though? Like you gotta have like a steel reinforced front end.
I'm sure.
And that's
what Wrench did. That's what Wrench did.
Yeah, but like that
reinforced them.
You want to talk about science there, Stephanie? There's some fucking science behind putting an extra couple 1,000 pounds in a fucking Mini Cooper.
It's all about weight distribution.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter about weight distribution. The central, like those.
I don't know.
Never mind.
I don't know.
You can't fold steel that well, can you?
I can't.
I'm not Wrench.
Yeah, Wrench can do anything. He's Wrench.
He's a superhero.
Yeah. I don't know. I will say this. One of the few movies that the supporting cast is my favorite part of the movie. Seth Green, Mos Def, and Jason Statham are my absolute favorite parts of the movie. They have the best lines.
It's true.
And it's just comedic gold from Mos Def being deaf in one ear. You know, Seth Green, whenever he's like at the terminal or whatever, and he's like, I got the spirit. It's just great. And then just like the interaction between Seth Green and Handsome Rob whenever he's picking up the chick and he's dubbing whatever he's saying, it's just so hilarious. I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, Seth Green is comedic gold as it is. But that cast together is so perfect. My number 5, the Italian Job, and that's not to take anything away from the Michael Caine version of it.
Michael Caine.
I do love me some Mark Wahlberg. So Marky Mark is good for the whole Funky Bunch.
I love Marky Mark. He's adorable.
It's one of those instances where the remake is just as good as or better than the original, which doesn't happen very often.
Yep. Agree.
All right. So On to my number 5. All right. So now we are getting into the world of racing. So I did mention Formula One earlier. So this is a movie about Formula One, which a Formula One car, as I mentioned, has a maximum speed, usually around 215, but the fastest ever speed was Valtteri Bottas did in 2016 at 246 miles per hour in Mexico. So that gives you an idea how fast a Formula One car, again, a race or a go-kart with a jet engine strapped to it, how fast they can go. I know. Impressive and dangerous, which we'll get to in a later movie we talk about. But this is a movie about, it stars Chris Hemsworth, Daniel Bruhl, talks all about the 1976 Formula One championship between James Hunt and Niki Lauda. This is 2013's Rush. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I remember it. Yeah.
You've seen this one? Okay. Yeah. This movie, another Ron Howard pick for me because I love Ron Howard. But this movie definitely captures kind of the craziness that is Formula One, that these guys are just putting themselves on the line. And Niki Lauda, for real, got trapped in a burning car. He was stuck in the car. His face is burned, is all melted. And the dude 6 weeks later comes back to race. I won't spoil the end of it if you haven't seen it before, people out there, but the racing scenes in this are so well done. They're so beautifully, the cinematography of the races is so well done. The sound design, it was nominated for best sound at the Oscars that year. I mean, and Chris Hemsworth, it's nice for him to get a role outside of just being Thor, where he can really flex his acting chops. He's funny. He's a great actor. He sings, he dances, he can literally do it all. But people just see the pretty face. They kind of forget that he is an actual great actor. And then, of course, it's Thor versus Baron Zemo, which is kind of fun. And so, yeah, I love this movie. It's Rush.
Natalie Dormer's in it too.
She is. Yeah, she has a good sex scene with Chris Hemsworth at the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember, I mean, obviously the movie, but his hair looks so off after seeing Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, okay. After seeing Thor.
The style of the way it's combed or whatever. And then when you have, especially fresh in your mind now that he's cut his hair because of, the storyline for, MCU and everything. And then you'll see old pictures of like the poster and you just go, does he get that wig on? Like, it just looks weird. Like, I don't know.
He looks very much like James Hunt, like the guy he's playing. So James Hunt's hair is kind of like this, 70s kind of blonde bush sort of a thing. Yep. Looks really cool. But this is my introduction to Daniel Bruhl. And now Niki Lauda, for all you racing fans, he did pass away recently, but he was the co-executive of the Mercedes AMG team. So he is a big mentor of Lewis Hamilton. So another big hero in the racing world. So there's my number 5. We are going to you, Jared. Take us into the 4s.
Number 4 is about a child driving a vehicle. It's called Baby Driver.
Oh, I'm glad you picked this. This is on my list. I'm glad you picked it, though.
I remember watching this movie and not understanding what I was getting myself into. And it's literally just a movie about a kid that just like, doesn't he have like hearing loss or like he has really bad tinnitus? Yeah, he's got really bad tinnitus, so he always has his headphones in, which is weird because when I put my headphones on, usually my tinnitus gets worse. So maybe the Apple iPod whatever that he uses is 1,000 times better, so maybe I need to switch over to Apple products. But I thought it was just dope that like the opening scene is a bank robbery, and I love how just super focused he is about things, and just It's a movie about a super professional being super professional in a super niche market. It's cool. It's fun. And a
much better driver than Jason Statham in The Transporter. Well, better at his job than Jason Statham.
He's better at his job.
Yeah. There we go.
He's better at his job.
He never looks in the trunk.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to look in the trunk too, because I mean, didn't some dude puke out the side of the car or something like that in that first scene, or was that a different movie that I was thinking of?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah,
because he was driving so hardcore to get away from the cops. But yeah, either way, I think just like the movie was ridiculous. The movie was ridiculous. I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Edward Wright, man, the movie is really fast, but it also feels very zen to me. Like his zenness as he's driving. I love that.
Oh, forgot it. Never mind. Cool. Moving on. I just how Dash is like, oh, this, and then when you brought up Zen, Stephanie, I was like, there's a really good movie about. There's a really good honorable mention.
You still have time to mention it in your honorable mention section.
I know.
Only one honorable mention. Sir.
Yeah,
Fine,
man.
I'll have only one. Fine.
Only one.
You guys are
I
gonna
get to
love my
have
one honorable
50.
mention.
There's no
Well,
more
then I'll
honorable
do my
mentions.
else.
Dash took them all.
I took all your honorable mentions. Oh, I know what it is now.
Oh.
What? Yeah, I would. What
Dash,
is it?
write
Dash?
it down. Write it down. Write it down, Dash.
I got that one too. The one that you just thought of.
Oh my gosh. Gentlemen, I think he's achieved sentience.
There, I wrote it down. It's in my honorable mentions now. Leave me
There you
alone.
go.
Look, I will say this. I've already started marking some of my honorable mentions off because they have been said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I'm
Whittle them
only
down
down
one
to
by one.
70.
It's
Down
down
to
to 70.
69.
Yeah.
Ladies.
All right. So Dash, you've seen Baby Driver then, right?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't care if I get fucking cancer for this or not. I'm a big Kevin Spacey fan.
Or what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Nope. We'll
Just
talk
me.
about it after the show.
Spacey's in the movie.
Oh, that's right. Because Spacey. Yep. No.
Yep.
Because he did and he's a
Ye-
little, yeah. And
As Roman,
oh, yeah.
as Roman Polanski has shown us, you can be a shit human, but also be talented at something. And he is.
That's how it is. I'm sorry. Do I say, yay, he did what he did was great? Of
course
not
not.
at all. Not at all. But that's not to negate
He is a good actor.
that man is talented.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Seen American Beauty? Have
Yeah.
you seen Pay It Forward?
No, I haven't seen that one. I did see House of Cards though, and he was great in that.
House of Cards 21. I even liked him as Lex Luthor, but I'm
He's
not going to
not
get
bad.
off on. I'm not going to go
Yeah.
off on my Kevin Spacey rant.
He's a shit human though.
Yes.
I don't know if that speaks volumes that I don't really pay attention to the news.
Probably better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really eats away at your soul when you learn some of this stuff. Like Louis C.K. I love Louis C.K. And then that whole thing, that really sucks. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I thought you were a great comedian. And I guess there's other stuff. But hey, it reminds us all that we're
he's
human.
still a great comedian.
He's still a great comedian. Absolutely. Yeah.
That
But
doesn't negate what he.
Doesn't negate what he did though.
He's
Yeah.
got a
No.
weird fucking kink. And don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dash, what's your number 5? No, number 4.
My number 4 is The Return. Finally, I started it off with a number 10. I'm bringing it back at number 4. Oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank. This is Giovanni Ribisi. This is it's Nick Cage. This is bringing back the Shelby. This is Eleanor. This is Gone in 60 Seconds. Just a great fucking movie. This is Delroy Lindo. This is Timothy Oliphant. This is just great racing. Just some great driving. Great driving.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie as a
Blonde.
twist.
You were waiting for me to say it, so it didn't come off skeezy. Angelina Jolie,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I got a question. How many extra carjackings do you think happened because of that movie?
Seriously.
I don't know. Let's get some crime data.
Memphis Reigns, that was his name. Oh, just a badass name.
It's a great name.
Memphis Reigns. That'll go up there with Cole Trickle.
I think so. A little less sounding like a urinary disease.
But also had one of the doctors from Doctor Who as the bad guy. I can't remember the actor's name. He's the Scottish fellow.
Oh, David Tennant.
No,
not David Tennant. It's been a long time since I've seen Gone in 60 Seconds.
When we're
Scottish
talking, what's going on there? Camera's freaking out. When it comes to the bad guys, are the bad guys really the cops or are they the other people?
Christopher Eccleston.
The first. Sorry, he's only had one season. So I forgot about him.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say the cops are the bad guys. No, this is what do they call him? The carpenter. Because he
right?
he builds stuff with wood or whatever.
Mhm.
No, I wouldn't say, because spoiler alert, if you've never seen Gone in 60 Seconds, what the hell are you doing? Listen to us. Go watch Gone in 60 Seconds.
Go pause.
Yeah.
Go watch that.
Great
Come
movie.
back.
But Delroy Lindo is a good guy. There's the history that he has with Nick Cage's with the Reigns family, between Memphis and his son, his brother and his mom. Memphis did the respectable thing. He got out of town, but his brother still ended up in the family business, so to speak.
Always those siblings.
Yep, just a great movie. And a great soundtrack by Apollo 440. If you're a big techno fan, "Stop the Rock" was the big song for that, and it was just a great movie. Yeah, that's awesome. My number 4, Gone in 60 Seconds. Stephanie, what is your number 4?
All right, so number 4 is my second. I call it a cheater, but it's not really a cheater. It's an amalgamation of a franchise altogether, because 2 movies of many in this franchise are beloved to me, but I'm going to pick the Christopher McQuarrie directed entries in this franchise. We're going with vehicles like motorcycles like the BMW R1200 that can go, I don't know, something like 90 to 110 miles an hour. We had a Airbus A400 that ended up going and taking this person about 100 or 1,000 feet in the air at about 100 knots. And of course, we had a Halo skydiving sequence where Mr. Tom Cruise achieved speeds of 198 miles an hour. We're going to the Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, you can't have a Fastest Movies entry without a lot of Tom Cruise, because that guy apparently wants to kill himself on screen for us, for our entertainment. And I will applaud him for doing that. Where in Rogue Nation, he attaches onto the side of an Airbus as it's launching off of the runway. He goes about 1,000 feet at 100 knots, which is something like, I looked it up, 115 miles per hour, or 185 kph for our non-MPH using people, which is insane. He broke his ankle. Go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just incredible what he puts his body through. And if I can't do it, why would I ask somebody else to do it? Kind of a mentality. And it's crazy to think, because what have there been 6 now or 7?
7, 8. Yeah, I think Fallout is
for him to only have hurt himself once.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. Of all the stuff all the practical stuff, from jumping off of a building, the Burj Khalifa, but to only hurt your ankle or whatever.
Yeah, shattering your ankle, jumping from building to building, and Fallout. Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, there's so many sequences in these movies that you could talk about. Yeah, the Burj Khalifa is insane. I mean, but the motorcycle chases in Rogue Nation and Fallout, that it's actually Tom driving those motorcycles at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And like I mentioned, the Halo diving sequence, that's never been done. Him actually doing that Halo jump at 200 miles an hour, something like that, coming out of the sky. I mean, he's insane.
Instructors die all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite of the Mission Impossible movies?
I would probably have to. It's a close second. Fallout's fun because of the Henry Cavill, the loading the guns. That's super fun, and of course, the fact that Fallout is the reason that Justice League was awful, because Paramount wouldn't let Henry Cavill go do.
His mustache was on point.
His mustache is great in Fallout, and I agree with them not shaving it, but then it, of course, hurt the Justice League, unfortunately. But my favorite is Rogue Nation. I mean, because Rebecca Ferguson, the scene where he has to jump into the water pool and he can't have oxygen for however many minutes, how nerve-wracking that scene is.
Yeah.
And the scene where he's trying to quietly go through, I mean, it's got opera in it, so I love that. The opera scene.
I gotta go. Number 3 for me.
Oh, really? That's a good one too.
I'm a big Philip Seymour Hoffman fan.
Yeah, hard to argue.
As a bad guy, it was just incredible. And then, I mean, they killed. Was her name Felicity Huffman?
Yep.
With the whole the eye.
Yeah.
No. There was a thought there. Where's the thought? Where'd it go?
Oh, nope, you lost it. It went too fast for you.
It was there. Oh no, there we go. Found it. So with Superman in Justice League, did he have the mustache the whole time and they had to edit it out for the whole movie? Or was it just
the reshoots?
Okay.
And the main one, the one that how the movie started.
Awful.
Okay, yeah.
Awful.
If nobody would have pointed that out to me, I would have never noticed it.
Really?
No.
Wow.
do. When I say I shut my fucking brain off, that's why I like you guys are like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was like, oh, he's the dude in the all white suit, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the little tiny things that trigger it. Like I don't. It.
Hey man, that's all right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done. Like tell story. Okay, sorry.
The uncanny valley on Henry Cavill's face, I couldn't ignore. I tried to, but it was like, whoa, man, it's so bad.
Yep.
Anyways, well, that was my number 4. So now we're into the top 3s. Jared, hit us with your number 3.
Sorry, I drug us off there. My apologies. You guys were
okay.
doing so well.
That's
My
all
number 3 is actually Terminator 2.
Oh, great
Day.
choice. Great choice. It was on my list. I didn't pick it.
The reason why, and Stephanie, you're gonna like this one. I had a little bit of a moment of thought of science-y, right?
Ooh, science.
So the T-1000 chases Arnold Schwarzenegger on that bike. Now, I sometimes forget that a motorcycle is carrying, a demon of a man here, and I'm reading from a script, because technically he is a machine. And when we see the T-1000 in future movies, like even when it's in its like more advanced stages of a T-1000, it's more lifelike. You really see the kind of damage it can do. Now imagine this on a Harley Davidson chassis, and you're like, how does this truck keep up with a Harley Davidson? Well, fucking Schwarzenegger weighs like a ton. So you take a ton and you put it in a car or like my Jeep. All right, no big deal. You put it on a motorcycle that's maybe a couple hundred pounds. You see that suspension. Like in this, it's like it's only like even if it's a 4-stroke Harley, that thing is just a chug-a-lug-a-luggin'. So that whole scene was pretty dope.
So dope.
And then it was kind of weird because like I remember when What's His Nuts is riding on the dirt bike, and you're like, why is he not going faster on the motorcycle? And so I'm like, either James Cameron knew his poop, or he's not a very bright individual and makes wonderful explosions, and for that I can love him.
Stuff in movies goes at the speed of script.
Yeah.
So, and then of course you can't forget the whoosh. Gets me every time.
So good.
Yeah, they just whack. It's like, Fun fact: that gun, those guns were featured in Modern Warfare 2, I think it was.
Oh, really?
And it was like one of the coolest guns to use in Modern Warfare 2. It was the 1887 Winchester, is I think what it is.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, look at me spitting
gun
fucking
knowledge.
Facts.
Spitting them facts.
All right, I'm done being smart for the night. Dash, take us on to number 3.
My number 3 pig is just a great movie. It's probably my funnest. I don't know if that's a word. Most funnest movie on my list. Not the funniest, but it's the most fun. This is Jerry Reed. This is Sally Field. This is Jackie Gleason. This is Burt Reynolds. This is Smokey and the Motherfucking Bandit.
Nice.
Just a great,
awesome.
It's a great movie.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nothing that can be said that hasn't been said already about it. Yeah, that's it. I'm done with that one.
Also took one of my honorable mentions. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you did that.
Okay.
Great movie.
Stephanie, what is your number 3?
So my number 3, so we're going again, another notch up in the speed category. We're going with some F-14 Tomcats and some F-18 Super Hornets. We are going with yet another Tom Cruise movie. We're going with Top Gun. I love this movie. These cool dog fights, these supersonic jets. So if we go with, you can fact check me on this, person who was in the Air Force, that current supersonic hypersonic aircraft can go about 3,800 miles an hour, but the Hornets that are in Top Gun, they go about Mach 1. Is that correct?
I was accurate? A cop.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked it up on the internet. That's how I do all my science. So
thank you for stereotyping the Air Force, just like everyone else does. We have real jobs.
Sorry.
We have real jobs.
Oh.
You can be anything in the Air Force. You're not always a pilot. Pilots are dicks.
Oh, are they really?
Oh, there's a captain who, fun story here, you guys want it. There's a captain who thought I was playing around, and then he got to eat pavement and talk to my chief why he was on the pavement eating dirt when I told him not to cross my line.
Sounds like Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer could have used you in the movie to keep line between those guys and all their shenanigans in the jets.
I would have let them fight. It's fun to watch pilots. Oh God, it's so hilarious to watch pilots squabble.
Is it?
It's great. Yeah, the pilot's fighting because you're just like to be a pilot, you kind of got to be a certain person. Like
Of
Tom
course.
Cruise, you got to be small, and then you got to have the certain mentality.
You gotta be a
And so
dick.
it's like, no, dude, you go break up the egotistical fight. I don't want to get hit. No, I don't want
It's
to
a
have
lit-
to. Yeah, I don't want to have to say why I used my taser or my pepper spray. Forget that nonsense. Let them fight. I didn't see
Ooh.
anything.
a literal cockfight.
Yeah, just let them have it.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so but the scenes in this movie, I mean, I don't know how accurate they are, but I'm guessing that they're really accurate because or somewhat accurate. Badass soundtrack. I mean, Kenny Loggins, the soundtrack of Top Gun is Take My Breath Away. Great freaking song. Kelly McGillis, she's gorgeous. There's a theory that, well, how much I'll say about this, but that Kelly McGillis was added in because they thought that Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer were having too much bromance, if you understand my meaning, right? The volleyball scene and all that stuff. But I mean, what a great movie, Top Gun. And I'm excited for this new Top Gun coming out soon in 2022, Top Gun Maverick. So I had to put Top Gun on my list. There's my number 3.
I'll be honest, I thought that was going to be your number 1 because you were going by speed. And so I'm interested. I mean, you have 2 more to go.
I have 2 more to
You're
go.
going, damn, what's past that? And I'm trying to really think outside the box. And I'm coming
You'll
up with
see.
a couple things, but
You'll see.
Also,
All right.
you want
What?
some? If you wanted some Air Force facts,
Please do.
I don't think Tom Cruise could have ever made it through his like because you remember how Top Gun 2 came out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's coming out.
Well, it's coming out. I don't think it's possible to have him be a captain for his entire career because of
You'd be forced to promote.
not forced promotion. Oh God, I forget what it's called. But basically, there's a ceiling to how long you can be in the service at one specific rank if you can't be promoted.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like because if you're like when you was in the Air Force as an E4, you had to make staff sergeant by by a certain year. Otherwise, you're just like you can't. You're gone. You know, you can't. You're non-promotable. And
really?
if as an officer to lose your rank as an officer is basically a death sentence.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, you lose rank as an officer, you're pretty much guaranteed to get out the door as soon as your enlistment is done.
Okay.
Yeah, so fun facts there.
So that's not plausible. The military ranking used. I mean, Tony Scott is the director. I don't know how much military experience he got in background research.
I mean, I know that in the trailer they had mentioned something briefly about it, but like it's a movie.
It's a
Like,
movie.
you know, then again, I was the one that had the problem with the CZ Scorpion having an inaccurate fire rate in Black Widow. When
Yeah.
that's not a thing I should be worried about, but you know.
Hey, that's technically science. That's gun science. So you should be accurate about those things. Movie makers, you should be accurate about these things, or Jared's going to call you out on them. And I appreciate that.
So we're gonna stick with Tom Cruise man love here.
Tom Cruise, man love. God, I love Tom Cruise. He's short as crap, so I never would like him in real life, but he's great on film, and I can't.
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher, those are good movies. So I almost put him on my list, but not quite up there for me.
He's
Not Jack Reacher. The new Jack Reacher television series, if you saw the trailer to that, is more the Jack Reacher from the book.
Yeah. He what did he steal? What car was it a Stang that he stole?
I can't remember.
Yeah. All I remember,
pretty.
like I love the scene where just like he has a brilliant fight choreography. And like it's funny because he runs the pacing of the fight and you know he just does it so beautifully and wonderfully. And then he breaks the guy's finger and he's like, "You let me borrow this car, right?" He's like, "Yep, you borrowed it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I love that whole chase sequence. And then at the end, he just gets out and walks away. And just walks in the crowd and blends into the crowd. And that scene is very realistic. Going back to the military stuff, because damn, we're on a roll.
Hey, you know what you know?
Yeah, hyper focus. One of the biggest things is that they used to tell us to keep our head on the swivels, look up, down, left, right, side to side, diagonal, just anywhere and everywhere. Because we would run a few exercises where we would never look up, right? And we would miss things all the time. There was one where I got hit in the head because I didn't look up a half inch. It was insane. But I just thought it was fantastic that the cops hyper focus on it and they don't even see the bus going by. What a great way to end a chase scene from a super fast muscle cars and souped up interceptors to getting on a bus and driving away nice and slow.
Just driving away. Nice.
I'm sorry, Dash. I got like super excited there. I got to talk about
no worries.
I got to talk about what I know, everybody.
That's awesome.
So Dash, where are we at with number dose?
Wait, did we get your number 2? We did, right?
Yeah, that was Jack Reacher.
Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry. I thought you were just going off on Tom Cruise. I didn't realize it was your
No.
number 2. I'm such an asshole. Sorry.
That's fine.
You're all good. My number 2, I would love to say, but 1, I don't know what to do with my hands because I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. My number 2 is Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Nice.
Oh my God. I
It's
use
one of
those
the
memes
greatest-
all the time.
One of the greatest comedies just ever. I'm a huge frat packer. Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Will Ferrell, Owen Wilson, Luke Will. Just I love the frat pack so much, but Will Ferrell more than anything is just from his time at SNL. He was just on, and he's not been off.
No.
And Talladega Nights is no different. And I mean, at this time, it was every hit after hit after hit that he was putting out. And yeah, Will Ferrell with NASCAR is just genius.
That's a great
why
combo.
wouldn't it happen?
Mhm.
You can think of the most absurd things to bring together. It's just great. Yeah, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
And actually-
I forget every single time that Jane Lynch is the mom in that movie.
Yep. That's right. Oh man. And actually good racing scenes. I mean, as funny as that movie is, I thought the racing scenes, like the racing part of that movie is actually really good. Better than I think it has any right to be, but it's really funny.
Probably the movie I fell in love with John C. Reilly.
Oh. Mm.
Just a hilarious dude. I mean, great acting either way, whether it's drama or comedy. But yeah, you mean Jane Lynch, Andy Richter, Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah, Michael Clark Duncan.
All sorts of good stuff.
Great.
Forgot how much range Barra Cohen's got.
Yeah.
Got a lot. It's not just Borat.
Yeah. Crazy.
He was good in Sweeney Todd too. He's a good singer.
Yeah. All right. Stephanie.
Sorry about
number 2.
Sorry about that, Dash. I was giggling and then I had muted myself because I thought I was going to burp. So I abruptly just cut in on that last one. My apologies.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
We
okay.
heard nothing. But
Well,
hey,
no,
good.
because I had it on mute and then I started to laugh because I forgot how awesome that movie was. And I just, yeah. So
Let it out.
my apologies
That
to
movie
everyone
was,
that just,
awesome.
yeah.
That movie was bleh. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to my number 2. So this movie, I mean, there are vehicles in this movie. They don't go very fast in the movies. Well, actually, I guess in the prequels they kind of do. But this involves the fastest ship in the galaxy that makes the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. We're going to Star Wars. Yep, I'm putting it on my list. You know why? Because hyperdrive is estimated to go at about 29,000 miles per hour, which is pretty darn fast. So I think it counts as the fastest movie. And the J.J. Abrams ones are always constantly on a chase scene, right? That's what those whole movies were. I'm not a big fan of the J.J. Abrams Star Wars movies. Sorry, people come after me, but I hate The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker sucks. But the original 3 are awesome.
the parsecs is a
time.
measure of time.
A measure of time. He made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So, I mean, in racing, you have a lap time. That was his lap time. Right? Maybe?
Did Greedo shoot first or not?
No, Han shot first. I don't care what George Lucas and his re-edits say.
Okay.
Han shot first.
Okay.
And he should shoot first because that's the Han Solo that I like.
He's a space pirate.
He's a space pirate. He should shoot first. Absolutely. You have the Millennium Falcon. Then you go back to the prequels. You have all those cool fast ships that are, having those awesome space battles. The trench runs are super fast. You have in the Return of the Jedi, you have that sweet Endor scene where Luke and Leia are on those speeders going through the trees. It's a great little chase scene with the stormtroopers. It's a super fast series of movies. So my number 2 pick is Star Wars. I hope that's not cheating. I don't think it is.
No.
It's
Go
fast.
fast.
Not
Go
cheating.
fast.
I just,
Got to go fast.
I wish I would have thought of it. That's all. Jealous.
Science. I don't know if hyperdrive would actually happen. Like there's a whole, if anybody goes on to wired.com, there's a great scientific breakdown of exactly how they figured out that the Millennium Falcon goes at about 29,000 mph, which I highly recommend. The way that dude broke it down, it was like, oh my God, this is so much science. Even I can't even handle it. But it's good stuff.
That's what I can sometimes get with Miney's tech tips. He starts talking about the really intricacies of computers, and I'm just like, because I was talking to Dash about it the other day, and yeah, like it just like I apologize, Dash, because I was watching one of his movies or videos, and I was looking at Dash talking about something computers, and I just see this blank stare, and I'm like, he knows nothing of what I'm saying. and then I had that moment today before the podcast, and Linus is talking about something. I'm like, I feel now I know what Dash felt like the other day. So honorable mentions though, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, it is time. Thank you, Jared, for reminding us that we have to go to our honorable mentions. So Jared, start us off with your honorable mentions.
From Paris with Love is the movie I was talking about, Dash. And in that scene where they're doing that chase for the terrorist scene, and it's just like da, 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 and it's like rocking out with the heavy metal. And then I can't even remember the actor's name now, but he changes it to the symphony. And it's just a very soft, soothing song as they're like rushing through the Autobahn to catch the terrorists. I thought it was kind of cool. And then Cellular with Chris Evans way back in the day.
Ooh, I've never seen this.
And Statham.
And Statham. Yeah.
We need to have a Statham counter on the corner.
Yeah. That was like the comeback for what's her name? Kim Basinger.
Was she in that?
Yeah.
She was the main girl, right?
Yep. She was the one who is being held hostage.
Oh. Yeah, it's like the movie is such a dumb premise that like it would like I doubt it would ever happen. But like it's just so adorable to see like a young Chris Evans and like a callback, and then like he's got this scene in a security car, and you're just like, whatever, big guy. Like it's just so great to go back and revisit that. Yeah. Those are my honorable mentions.
All right.
How many are you going to tell us about?
Well,
Dash has 27 honorable mentions.
I got rid of 3 of them, but I did add 1.
No, nope. No additive magic.
You never know. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I have one main one. It's never going to change.
Okay.
So yeah, quick rundown. Cannonball Run, great movie, incredible cast, incredible. 8 Below with Paul Walker.
Ooh, I've never seen that.
Snow Dogs, great Disney movie. Space Cowboys, Tommy Lee Jones, Clint Eastwood, great movie. Transformers.
Yep.
They're
fast
cars.
Movie. They're cars.
They turn into robots. Starsky and Hutch with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. It's the car, but it's Snoop Dogg as Huggy Bear.
That's great.
Lucky Logan. Adam Driver, Channing Tatum, and Daniel Craig. They don't race, but it takes place at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I'm a Carolina boy. But my honorable mention comes down to it's not cars. These are motorbikes, baby. Biker Boys. If you've never seen Biker Boys, it is a great, fantastic movie. It's about brotherhood, but it's about some badass bikes and people doing cool tricks on shit. That's my number 1.
I have not seen it.
Huh? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I got to watch it.
Yeah. What is your honorable mention?
All right. So my honorable mention, we're going to mention a couple that we didn't mention. One honorable mention is the great car chase scene from the Blues Brothers, which is one of my favorite scenes of all time. It's so funny. You talked about, I forget which movie. Oh, the Transporter series. The original Transporter movie is 1971's Vanishing Point, where a car delivery driver has to get across the entire United States in a record amount of time, and the police are chasing him the whole time. Very fun movie. Great car chase scene in The French Connection with Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider. Great one. But there's 2 others. There's Grand Prix with James Garner, which is a great, Formula One movie, and Le Mans with, again, the great Steve McQueen, which is about the France Le Mans 24-hour racing, which is a cool movie. But my actual honorable mention is actually a documentary. We talked about these are the fastest movies. Well, this is a documentary about the fastest driver in all of Formula One history. Formula One actually measured this based on all of his qualifying and race times against all other drivers, and he is the fastest racer of all time. This is about the late, great Ayrton Senna, who is a Brazilian Formula One driver, a 3-time world champion who tragically lost his life on the track, as most drivers do back in the days when the cars were not quite so safe. So this is actually from 2010, the documentary about him just called Senna, which details his life, the way that he lived, why he wanted to race, and it has some great, footage of his races from back in the day. And then, of course, this terrible scene where he actually does lose his life on the track, head-on collision with the wall, about 191 miles per hour, kind of similar to how poor Dale Earnhardt left. But Senna, the great Ayrton Senna, he was a great humanitarian, a great person, and the movie really details that, and it talks about why these drivers live on the edge the way they do in these. Formula One is probably the most dangerous sport that there is, the most deaths per participant in any sport that there has been, and Senna really details why these guys why particularly Senna loved racing, why these guys love racing. So Senna, that's my honorable mention.
That's a hell of an honorable mention right there.
Oh man, it's tough to watch, especially at the end. You actually get to see the footage of what happened. He was, it's awful. It's awful. So there you go. Real downer. Thanks, Steph. Let's get it happy again. Jared, can we hear what your number one choice is?
I don't know if you'd call the wasteland happy, but all right.
Well,
it was mentioned before. I think Dash knows exactly where we're going. Mad Max is the Mad Max Fury Road. That's it's just the whole fucking movie is about cars. It's not. I mean, it technically it's about society, but I mean, it's the bullet farm, the gas farm, it's Mad fucking Max, baby. I don't know what else to say.
Put that on the poster. It's Mad fucking Max.
Like if you don't know about Mad Max, like just go fuck yourself, man. Like everybody knows. Well,
don't do that. You don't have to go watch the movie, and then maybe after that you can go fuck yourself as a reward.
Yeah,
the plan.
Afterwards,
right? The plan.
Go fuck yourself afterwards.
I don't know. Just Mad Max. Like you basically. What Stephanie? That was you, right? Mad Max.
I did pick Mad Max. Yep.
It just. You stole it. You stole my number one.
I'm sorry.
I don't care. That's what she said.
Well, do you want to hear a fun story that my husband and I's very first date? I don't want to hear about
your happiness.
No. I'm sorry. Well, but our first date, we actually watched the first Mad Max. That was our movie that we watched together for our first date. So it's a special place in my heart, the original Mad Max movie. Okay. So I guess I was trying to make it happy. I'm sorry.
Hooray for you, I guess.
Yes,
yeah, that's right. Be sad. Wallow in your misery with me this week. All right, Dash. Let's hear your number one, big guy.
Can we edit real quick? I'm gonna let my cat out. She's being a little brat.
Was Stephanie, I gotta ask, was that your Amazon gift to yourself there?
Which one?
The mic stand?
I had this before. Yeah. And I finally just decided my gift to myself was figuring out how to get my microphone in the shock mount that I had before, which I had for this mic here, which is my cardioid mic. And then I got this mic instead. So yes, but not for this.
Dash, let's hear your number one pick, big guy.
It is probably no surprise to anybody of what my number one is.
Oh, yeah.
It is by far the fastest movies. It is the most furious movies.
Yep.
It is the Fast and Furious franchise. I joked around that I could do this. I literally could have done this.
Just all nine.
As a whole list, but I didn't. I took this as a franchise as itself. Living your life a quarter mile at a time.
Yep.
It's just great.
Family.
It's all about family. The death of Paul Walker.
Oh,
that's so sad.
That's 7.
To watch 7. It is one of my favorites. It's not my favorite, but to watch 7.
That's hard.
So bad. I put that up there with the end of Endgame for me.
Wow. Okay.
Of like, I mean, granted, it wasn't just in the movie; it was real life.
Mm-hmm.
But
And if
yeah,
they used his brothers as his double,
yep,
my goodness.
yeah.
The origin of Gal Gadot.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I mean, technically, if you want to say living your life a quarter mile at the time, he
really
lived
did.
and died by the sword. So.
Yeah. If I have to pick one,
What's your favorite one?
As he looks to the cat for confirmation.
no, I was trying to figure out what he was doing. He's sitting on the corner of the thing, waiting for something to print out that's never going to print out. If I have to pick one, I got to go 5. 5 is the best one. It's the, it's the Rock. You know, we finally get the Rock in the series and really revitalized the franchise. I'm not a big fan of Hobbs and Shaw as a spinoff. I do like the movie as a whole. It is not a Fast and the Furious movie by any means, but it is a good movie. It's a good action movie.
It is a good action movie.
Which one was Tokyo Drift?
That was
That's
number
2.
3.
Or 3, sorry.
3? Okay.
2 was Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's right. Duh, of course.
If I got to go, no, like I said, 5 is number 1 for me. And then I like 8, which is a lot of people don't, but I love the Fate of the Furious so much. 1, I got to see them film it in Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
The scene where all the Dominic has all the cords in the car or whatever, and they're all pulling them and stuff. I got to see that scene
cool.
right at the intersection. It was really cool. But I love Charlize Theron's character. I still haven't seen 9 yet.
Okay.
Still waiting for it to go on sale. But I love the franchise in itself, and I get ridiculed for it because it is what it is, unbelievable shit that happens in the movie. It's just craziness. It's fun to me. And
embrace it.
It's a movie that does what I think movies should do. It allows you to forget about the bullshit of the world and just sit back and have fun. And that's what it is. It's a fun franchise. Fast and Furious, baby.
Good choice. All right.
Go
ahead.
Stand by.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have to ask this because the Fast and the Furious franchise lost me at Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
When they dropped that little, pew pew engine into the Stang, kind of got me a little upset. Spaghetti. Where does that rank in the movies for you?
Where does Tokyo Drift rank?
Where does Tokyo Drift rank for you?
I mean, if we're gonna go through it,
do it right now, quick. Give us the top 10 Fast and Furious movies now.
So there's 9 Furious movies. I have not seen the 9th, and Hobbs and Shaw. So there's 10 in all. So I will go ahead and put number 9 as my 10th because I haven't seen it.
Right.
Hobbs and Shaw would be my 9th. Number 1's going to be 5. Number 7's going to be 2. So 5, 7. I'm sorry, 5, 8, 7, 6, 1.
Too many numbers.
2.
You like number 3 that much?
4, 3. Hobbs. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'm right. No. 5, 8, 7, 6, 1, 2, 4, then 3.
Oh, towards the bottom.
3 is right above Hobbs and Shaw for me.
Okay, thank you.
In the Fast and Furious, I do like it. I do like the movie, but I like the other ones better. I'm not one of these picky people. Like, I don't care about the science about it because I know shit about cars. My dad tried to teach me about cars, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to make money and pay somebody to do it for me." My brain doesn't work like that, but I appreciate the movie for what it is. There was a something that needed to be shown. Drift racing, and I like how they went about it. It should have been a whole nother different thing. I think at that point they were like, we don't know what to do with this. We'll go to Tokyo. This is a big thing. And then afterwards, I mean, it did okay, but they all got back together. The family did. And they were like, we have an idea. And then they were able to come back and bring the entire family back together again, which is crazy to even think that happened.
Say family one more time.
Family.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, Stephanie, what is your number one? I'm interested in see what this is.
Alrighty, so these are the fastest of all the movies that I've mentioned. These are the fastest vehicles. This is the franchise that is my favorite franchise of all time. It is science fiction, but it is actual less fiction, more approaching plausibility. We're going with only 10 movies because, as you'll see, 3 of these movies don't count. This is an entire franchise of Captain Kirk, of Spock, of Captain Picard, of Will Riker. We're going with Star Trek. Of course, these vehicles go faster than light speed. Warp speed is light speed. Warp factor 2 or factor 3 are all factors above light speed. In Star Trek, the motion picture, they went warp 12, which in later Star Trek canon would warp your cells into some gel. So that notwithstanding science-wise, Gene Roddenberry actually, after Star Trek the Motion Picture, kind of refactored the rules of warp drive before Star Trek the Next Generation came out to kind of make it approaching some sort of realism. Of course, we can't really build warp engines right now, and dilithium is not a thing that we have that we can burn in a matter and antimatter reactor. But these films are so cool. It's fun that I put them on a fastest list because some people think that the original Star Trek movies are all very slow and they're all very ponderous. But I mean, they're very intelligent. They're highly intelligent. They're very different, right? Wrath of Khan is not the same as Search for Spock or The Voyage Home, right? The Voyage Home is the whale movie, as people refer to it as, the going back in time to find the whales movie, or The Final Frontier, where they go to the center of the universe to find God. I mean, that's an odd choice for a Star Trek movie, but it actually works really well. You have The Undiscovered Country, where they go against Klingons, and there's the whole issue of whether Kirk killed the Klingon officer and all of that. And then you have the Generations movies. You have Kirk and Picard together in Generations, which I think is my favorite. I get a lot of flack because it's not super accurate, but the Nexus is really cool, and that travels through space at a high rate of speed, so that's another fastest item. Malcolm McDowell's in Generations as the bad guy, who's a great bad guy in that movie. And then you have the cool First Contact, where the Borg go back in time to prevent humans from ever developing warp technology in the first place, because in the canon of Star Trek, Ephraim Cochrane is the guy who creates the warp drive. He does his first test run. The Vulcans see him, and that's how the Federation starts. And First Contact, they go back in time to try to prevent that from happening. But the vehicles go factors of light speed. They're literally the fastest vehicles on my list. Warp 10 actually is termed as infinity. It's an infinite speed that you can travel theoretically, of course. All of this stuff is theoretical, but that's my fastest movie. It is Star Trek. It's near and dear to my heart.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Oh, I'm such a huge Star Trek fan.
Really cool.
I grew up on Next Gen. It was my show. That's what I watched all the episodes of. I love Captain Picard.
Who's your favorite captain out of all the captains?
It's Picard. You know what? I say Picard because I haven't watched as much of the original series. I've been catching up on the original series, and I definitely see why people love Captain Kirk, because he's always the guy playing the impossible gambit, and he's getting away with it every time. He's such a good chess player. Spock can't beat him in chess because he's always just doing the move that no logical person would try for. So in that sense, I mean, I get why people like Kirk, but I grew up with Picard. That was my first, taste of Star Trek was Picard. So Picard's always going to be my favorite captain. I give props to Avery Brooks, Captain Sisko in DS9.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard not to say he's great.
That's hot.
And then they traveled via wormhole in DS9, so that's pretty fast as well.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Was he?
I love Picard. I was a Riker fan, but no, he's just cool.
He's a cool dude.
Avery Brooks is, when he was on Spencer for Hire.
Oh yeah.
As Hawk, he was just the coolest.
He's a cool
for
dude.
him to step behind, step into the captain's chair he has the same cool, and no matter what he does, it's just him. So I've always been a fan.
My dad loved Star Trek, Stargate, SG-1. and it was always adorable because, like, you know, I had a bedtime, but like those shows came on, and I was like, Dad, I want to watch this stuff with you. And guess who got to stay up late on those nights watching Star Trek and Stargate with his dad? So it was kind of cool. Yeah, like it was funny because like as soon as you started talking about science, it was like Star Trek and Star Wars is in here at least once, at least.
Yep.
That's awesome, though.
I do want to say though, for anybody out there, the Star Trek movies ended in 2002 because maybe you guys might like these movies. I don't. I do not like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies because they are not Star Trek to me. They are Star Trek fanfic films made by somebody that likes Star Wars and wanted to make a Star Wars movie. They're fine, but they shouldn't be called Star Trek, in my opinion. I'll just put it out there. Hate if you want, but
too much fan service.
I have yet to like a J.J. Abrams movie at all. I've yet to like any of them. There's something about him, his sensibilities. He is very fan servicey. He's not intelligent about it, in my opinion. In my opinion, you know, for me, it doesn't ever come off well for me. So I have yet to like a J.J. Abrams movie, unfortunately.
Like a J.J. Abrams TV show?
I liked Fringe, but he didn't direct those. He just wrote the story. Alias. I've watched a few episodes of Alias.
Some Jennifer Garner.
I do love Jennifer Garner. Yeah.
I loved Alias. I've seen.
I should watch that
4 or 5 times through.
But he wrote the story. He didn't direct a whole lot of the episodes, right?
No. He produced the show.
He produced it and Lost, right? So I've seen a few episodes of Lost, and that's decent.
Yep.
But
I like this. Yeah, no, I like his TV stuff more than I think that I like his. I don't know. I love Zachary Quinto as Spock. I like.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I shouldn't say the movies themselves are fine, and who they picked in those roles is great. Chris Pine is a great Kirk.
I that one I was just like, I guess. What's Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana as Uhura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought she was great. And
Carl Urban as Bones.
Yep. Yeah.
Casting's
Simon
great.
Pegg. Yeah, Scotty.
He's great, Scotty. Too bad the stories in those Star Trek movies. A Star Trek movie is supposed to end with a philosophical point of difference resolving the story. That's Star Trek to me, where two sides have a philosophical difference and they resolve that difference with some sort of an intelligent either conversation. I mean, Wrath of Khan notwithstanding, that's intelligent in a different way, right? That's a chess match. That's Kirk in a nutshell. But the J.J. Abrams ones are always resolving with some big slam bang, shoot 'em up, punchy punch. Just it's fine, but it's not Star Trek to me. That's Star Wars-ish, or that's just a space movie, space opera. Yeah. So that's my opinion. They're my Lord of the Rings, if you want to say that. I did like Into Darkness until the end, though.
I only saw the first one of the J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Benedict Cumberbatch is not Ricardo Montalban.
He's not. No, he's very much not.
So I never saw it. I never saw the third one either.
Beyond. It was all right. I mean, it has an interesting motorcycle scene. If you want to go fastest movies, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, not a Star Trek movie, but it's got some cool science-y, Star Trek-y stuff in there. So
I do agree with you in Generations, though. It is my favorite. Malcolm McDowell, though, is just great as a bad guy. Picard and the whole scene within the cabin is just
so good.
It's just a great scene. Yeah.
I've never seen any of those ones, so I can't comment. I've just seen the TV. I've just seen the TV shows. I've only ever watched the TV shows. I never watched any of the movies. Fine. Well, it was my dad's thing, and it just I watched the movie. I watched them because I got to stay up late. That was half of the thing. And then by the time it came out, by the time all those movies kind of came out, he never watched the movies. It was just the TV shows. And then I graduated I was 18 and I could do what I wanted.
And you didn't want to watch Star Trek movies. That's fair.
My mom was a big Star Trek fan. She's a Janeway fan.
Okay.
My stepmom was a Next Generation fan, so I appreciate Star Trek very much. I loved Voyage Home.
It's a good movie.
It really is. It's a fun movie.
Very fun.
Spock on the bus with the just hilarious. But getting into the more serious ones, I love Generations. Yeah.
Oh man. Insurrection and Nemesis, you probably would like. Well, Nemesis isn't a great story, Jared, but Nemesis has baby Tom Hardy playing a clone of Picard. Tom Hardy Max
I know who
Rokitansky.
Tom Hardy
Okay,
is.
okay, I'm just
No,
making
Tom
sure.
Hardy.
I know who Tom Hardy
I'm
is.
just making sure.
Come
Okay.
on, we've talked about this. I have a
I'm
man
such a
crush.
jerk.
It's okay.
Well, it's everybody's crush.
All righty.
Well, speaking of crushes, guess what came in the mail?
What? What's
Did I tell you
that?
guys about that?
Is this about your business card or your lost
No.
and found tag?
This is the lost and found tag.
Your lost and found
The
tag
lost
came in
and
the
found
mail.
tag came in the mail. Yeah.
You gonna wear that on a future date?
See, I don't know because that's kind of in limbo right now.
Oh.
There's some information, there's some pertinent information that came up that needs to be addressed, and it's being addressed. So as with all things in relationship wise, I may not have lost out on the investment yet. I'm sad for it, but at the same time, it's like might as well you put it to use, right?
Try it out and let us know. You report back how well it works.
We have yet to discover warp speed yet. We're getting there. We're getting there, Stephanie. As soon as it is achieved, we will let you know in the Kepler space program.
You'll be your own Ephraim Cochran. Sounds dirty in that context, actually.
That's what that would have been perfect. That's what she said. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Dash. You know, like that was I'm just gonna say this as a third party from the outside because it was a comment my dad had made where he's like, you don't get in there much. I was like, no, I just kind of like listening to the two of them talk. That was so awesome to just sit there and watch you two nerd the fuck out. like I understand, I never understood why one of my ex-girlfriends used to love to listen to my podcast and me just ranting in a microphone for like an hour and a half or so at like 4 a.m. when she would start her job. And a little part of me hopes she still listens to my episodes. But like, I was like, I get that now. Like when somebody really likes listening to an episode, like just seeing it. And I'm like, I just want to shut up and listen. Like, this is great podcast. Jared doesn't exist anymore for a few minutes. That's fine. I'm happy.
You gave us the valuable insights of, all of your knowledge and your insights. They're very important. So don't discount yourself, sir.
No, for those 5 minutes where you two were nerding out, it was glorious. I didn't exist for those couple of minutes. And it was just, I loved listening to you talk. It was amazing. I get it now.
I can talk about Star Trek for a long time. You mentioned this, talk about Janeway. The only thing I miss about Janeway, and I had a thing with a coworker of mine with that, Janeway should have actually been Commander Shelby from The Next Gen, which is the officer that shows up on the Best of Both Worlds, part 1 and part 2, where Picard becomes a Borg. There's that curly haired chick. A coworker of mine had a theory that Janeway should have actually been Commander Shelby from those episodes as captain. Because Tom Paris was an actor, had a role in the Next Gen episode where he and Wesley Crusher did a maneuver they shouldn't have done and ended up being court-martialed for that maneuver. That character was court-martialed and stripped. And then Tom Paris in Voyager was somebody who was stripped down to an ensign rank. So that should have been the same character as Next Gen. All these different tie-ins in the Next Gen world to the other Rick Berman shows.
Awesome.
See that I wasn't even there for that one.
Wow.
I
Down the rabbit hole.
I started glazing and then I caught myself.
I get started on Star Trek. It's a rabbit hole.
What's she talking about?
The curly-haired blonde chick from the episodes where Picard becomes a Borg.
For a while. Just say
Well,
see, Dash. See, I've learned this from when I was married. I learned this. You try to listen intently and you try to figure out what she's talking about. And if you can't, just smile and make it look like you're really interested. I've gotten pretty good at that.
Guess what, fellas? We always know when you're not listening. Ominous. Ominous. Well, okay, fine. So I'll stop, nerding out about Star Trek here since neither y'all are listening to me anyways. And I'll start ending this episode. So I want to drag this bitch out. So thank you everybody for listening. That was our 10 fastest movies. In the comment section, tell us what your 10 fastest movies are. Do you like our criteria? Do you think this is bullcrap? Let us know either way. We don't care. So like, comment, subscribe, follow us. See future episodes, check out our reactions. So for this episode, I have been Stephanie. That way we're going to.
I'm Jared in the flock.
And then we got.
And I'm Dash.
And we'll see you next time. Vroom, vroom, mother effers.
Cut the check.